And now, we're live. Isn't that just a big bundle of joy, everybody? I'm talking to you, Zapchon!
What?
I'll bring out that Scottish throat of yours and claw your face off.
I was waiting for you to do like the usual
how
introduction
about you go to
thing.
hell instead? Actually, Cheese can join you.
No.
Say hi, Cheese.
Hi, we already have
Too
a
bad,
question.
they're gonna have to wait. Now here's the deal. I've been away for a little bit due to many circumstances involving being sent to the Eastern Front, which was rather unpleasant, but a very knowledgeable experience. Very fulfilling psychologically. And I'm gonna be sent to the Eastern Front again later this year for 6 months. My previous excursion there a few months back was more for scouting purposes, and I'm gonna be sent back again for a 6-month excursion. But I get paid for that excursion. I didn't get paid this time, but I'm getting paid next time. So it's a pretty good deal, wouldn't you say? Like, okay, like Zap, let's say you're shipped off to Yemen for 6 months, but you're paid $10,000 a week. Your
My
dad
dad
went
went
to
there.
fucking Yemen?
Yeah, for a business
Okay,
trip.
wow. I thought people would think my Ukraine experience was like, oh, there's no way that could happen. But then,
Well, not recently. It was when I was like
I mean,
4.
I'm just impressed. I'm very impressed to hear that was actually even possible. Congratulations to your dad. He's got pretty big balls.
Thank you. He was a shithead,
Well, I
but
mean,
you know.
I guess you kind of have to be to go to Yemen. Bastards. Anyways, we will be joined by Dark Signal later. He's currently out getting some groceries and beating the shit out of random people in the street with a baseball bat. Because he just loves doing that. But before we get into it, is the audio for everyone on the stream currently acceptable? Is anyone too low? Is the music too high? You guys in the chat tell us right now.
We're apparently very quiet, and I'm listening to it myself,
Okay,
and yeah, we sort of
is
are.
everyone quiet?
I think like the whole thing is pretty quiet.
Give me a fucking minute. Okay.
Also, thank you, Cycrith the Squid. I'm very
just
happy
doubled all
about
of
it.
our audio. How's that?
Wait, let's check it out. Let's see what the chat says.
It should be better now. And if not, then you're just a fool.
Okay, I'm able to hear myself when I listen to it
Okay,
just now,
good.
so I think that's all right.
Groceries? Yes, Subsa. Dark Signal's a human being, and he does love his groceries. Okay, good. Everything's good. Great, great.
There is
What?
one other thing, real quick, Jsoull. Okay, why do I have popcorn and why does Shoot the Cheese have a bottle when I have an actual fucking can of cider right here?
How about I bring your goddamn throat? I make you choke to death on that fucking can.
Try.
You depend on alcohol. I'm gonna drink my iced
wow.
mocha.
How very white of you.
Ah, that's the shit. Oh, you think it's fucking funny, huh?
I can be more satisfied with my beverage than
Oh,
you.
I dare you. I fucking. Shut the fuck up. Okay. Anyways. What
Okay.
Oh yeah, madness. So I was away for a couple months, but I was still able to work on little bits and pieces occasionally on my laptop. Mostly just conceptual shit for scenes in commercial sector, because commercial sector, guys, I gotta be honest, it's gonna turn out like Med-Sci, where it starts like, oh, it's gonna be so easy, it's just a couple scenes and then a finale, and now it's turning into this completely batshit awesome fucking set of action set pieces that's gonna be the best I've ever worked on, but it also takes time. But the end result is...
Commercial sectors where the fun begins.
I would say the fun definitely began back in a... Well, I mean, it depends on what your definition of fun is. Do you like more OC combat? Do you like more squad-based faction combat? Because the movie's got a little bit of everything. There's a lot of urban combat. Commercial sector's opening set piece is done in terms of, like, base footage. What I mean by that is, like, the compositions are done, the shots are done, but the art assets are not. But it's, like, fully... Like, it's fully blocked out, the comps are done, the layout is complete for the whole intro, and it's very vehicle based. There's some shots that are basically done and other ones that are just like sketch, like storyboards, but the layout's done for the intro. and this is transitioning out from the vehicle-heavy intro to the sprite-based scenes. So we start with a lot of vehicles, and we get some kind of nitty-gritty FBF-style shots, like cutscenes, and then we go transition to sprite scenes. And I haven't worked on a sprite scene in like half a year. I have to get used to making sprite animation again because it's been so damn long. Yeah, welcome back.
You'll
I
hate
already
it within a
fucking
day.
hate it. It's annoying. But I gotta fucking do it. So we got this asshole, which I know no one's gonna recognize. He was pulled off of a random sheet of a bunch of Asian animators because me and Necromancer thought he looked cool.
Yeah, somebody in the chat was asking who it was.
His character is apparently
'Cause
called
they
Rain.
said they look pretty good.
Rain-C.
I thought this was Pez.
Yeah, I was gonna say it
No,
sort of looks like Pez Colado.
Pez shows
a
up
little bit.
in a museum and he gets shot in the face.
I'm glad he's in the
wait,
movie
wait,
though.
no.
Pez is a cool
Pez
guy.
doesn't show up yet. There's another guy called Melon, who's like a way older. He's some pink,
Melon.
with a pink suit, pink visor, looks a lot similar to Pez, but he's not Pez. And he showed up in the museum. He was that guy who's like, yeah, I'm gonna beat them up with my fists, and then he just gets shot in the face and killed.
And suddenly not Pez
Well,
shows up.
it turns out there's a lot of OCs that just have pink visors. I didn't think pink was that popular, but there we go. It's everywhere.
Yeah, it's evil Pez. Zep. Wait a minute.
How about I break your damn neck?
Hmm?
Ruther's heart
No.
says, hey Jsoull, glad to see you're back. Well, thank you very much. I'm glad to be back, finally. Jesus. Ugh.
Ivan only one wants to know, wants the link for the stream
Oh,
playlist.
for the music? I don't have like a YouTube playlist I'm sourcing this from. This is from, actually it's a program Zapshan gave me, which I'm very happy for. It's called Audio Bee, or sorry, Music
Bee is the name of it.
and it lets you do like really fancy
Yeah.
setups like this. It's really good. It like automatically sorts all your music, and you can make playlists really easily and like sort by artist, and it automatically will look up information about the artist, so it'll automatically sort them based on like genre. It's pretty good.
Yeah, it's like it's connected to Last.fm, and I also like it for its extreme
It's
amounts
really
of
good. I even
customizability.
got like an ammo theme for it. It's a little icon instead of a B. It's like the ammo logo. I thought
This isn't
it's not
sponsored, by the way.
It's free.
I mean, the program's fucking free, so I mean,
Bastards. Great.
Yeah.
So we got this asshole, and we got this guy in the back I didn't do yet. Actually, wait, there's more parts on his body. Hey, there he is. He's got this, like, energy pistol thing. Originally, this guy was just supposed to be some random background OC who just gets shot in, like, a second. But I ended up liking his design a lot, so I might have him make a cameo before he gets killed. Maybe in, like, Meat Sector or something. Not too sure.
I think the other guy there who gets shot is
Guy
really
or
awesome.
Green.
Rainbow.
He looks cool. This is actually Necromancer's first sprite he did as a member of the team. Like, this is his kind of a rite of passage, and he did a pretty good job. He did excellent work. But currently he's working in a food truck making fentanyl enchiladas, so he wasn't able to join us today.
bro worked his way up the ranks of the
Basically,
cartel.
Head chef.
He's the head chef for the cartel. This is how it goes. We got this shot. I want to do the details for a different shot because I don't feel like doing green guy. So we're gonna do this shot. Here we go.
Darren Madness is in the chat asking
Darren.
where you were.
I was in Ukraine. Pretty fun place, I gotta say.
Did you see
No,
Buran?
I'm not going anywhere. Like, okay, like I was in Ukraine, but I was as far southwest as possible. Like, I was on the Moldovan border, basically, ready to hop right on over in case shit hit the fan. I'm not heading towards
Right.
fucking Kiev. That's literally running to where all the bombs are going.
Well, you didn't think he could tank one of them?
Depends what they fired. I mean, if they fire like a couple mortar shells loaded with a bunch of razor blades and like shit crammed into it to give you infections, that'd be extremely unpleasant. Also, you know, Russia's committing some war crimes. They're probably gonna fire some napalm or like nerve gas and shit for shits and giggles. I mean, it's.
I think everywhere is
Well, yeah,
committing war
basically,
crimes
like,
at the
the whole
moment.
situation proved that you can commit war crimes and it's okay if you're big and scary enough. That's how America got so big. That's how America
Party
got so
with
big, right?
It's not a
About
party.
the tear gas and the napalm and the
That-
fucking nerve gas and shit. I'm gonna start working on this shotgun, because why not? It's fun. No, I don't want to click on the fucking...
Fill your lungs with Agent Orange
Oh
perfume.
my god. Yeah, Agent Orange was always really fucking fun, wasn't it? Fuck you, Agent Orange. Fuck
It was a blast.
shading.
Great
Yeah,
for
it's
the
really good
environment.
It's really good for the skin too. Like if you ever wanted, if you have like really smooth skin, it helps roughen it out. You know, get you some tumors on the surface and all that.
Just throw out your regular bottle of sunscreen.
Oh my god. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. But yeah, Darren, I was in southwestern Ukraine, and it was actually not a bad experience. The people there are actually extremely nice. I really like the food. Only had a couple bombing drills, but no actual bombs dropped, which is surprising to me. And most of the experience is me just preparing for the 6 months I'm gonna have to be there. And I have to say, after spending about a month and a half there, I'm pretty confident that I'm gonna make it for the whole 6. But wait to see. Yes,
You're going for 6 months? Shit.
I gotta do what I gotta
Have fun.
do, man. There's certain parts of our destiny where we gotta fulfill, and this is something I literally have to do. But at the end of the road, I'm getting a lot out of it. So
I expect you to come back and be seasoned in both like Ukrainian culture and also have met Baran.
I'm not
met
going to
General
fucking
D,
Kiev
met
for fuck's sake.
Densmeet. Okay, well not Baran then. I don't know where the fuck General D and Densmeet are. They're in Ukraine.
I actually want to see Omeda Kedu on the drive back, but I didn't have enough time. I barely made my flight. I fucking drove for like a week from Moldova to Austria, and that was a very interesting experience for sure. A lot of sleepless nights, but it was actually very psychologically fulfilling, very culturally enriching. Being up in the fucking freezing ass mountains.
Also, General D said in the chat that he's also in Kiev.
Great. Wait, I didn't even know he's fucking Ukrainian. Well, congratulations.
Yeah.
Well,
General
maybe
D
next
is-
time you guys.
Congratulations on being
I'm
Ukrainian.
so happy.
Congratulations.
See what you want. Nah, but it was a fun experience. I do want to go back again because I'm getting paid next time, and the family I was staying with was very kind.
Did you tell the family
No.
about Madness Combat?
I remember Cheese. I called you when I was there, and you're like, hey, Jsoull, are you gonna stream when you're there? I'm like, no, I'm not gonna do that because I don't want to become a political refugee, or more like a political prisoner of Russia if they fucking find out where I am.
we have the creator of Maxification 2 surrender, or we will stop
No,
Maxification
no,
2 from being
on a
released.
on a serious
No.
note, like they would love to capture an American and then use me as like a political piece. Like North Korea does that all the time. Did you just hear a... Yeah.
I agree with your
fucking
chicken.
fucker. No, but like it's like what North Korea does, where they'll like capture tourists who go there willingly because they're stupid, and then they just stop it.
He's trying to get you to stop talking about
see you,
politics.
I see you over there. Don't think I don't. God damn you! I'll grab him. I'll snap his neck.
No, you won't. Perish.
Stop it! Okay, I'm gonna a little bit later. I'm gonna grab him, and we can do like a little Rooster cam. But in the mean, stop it
Hey,
over there, you
wait.
motherfucker!
Real quick before you go.
Anyways, Cheese, pick out
sorry.
some of the questions from the chat that we've been missing.
I have. They're all here. First off, SM28 wants you to say hi.
SM. SM's actually a good friend of mine. He's like the first... I think one of the first people I met... Stop it! One of the first people I met in the fucking community. It's not funny! It's not funny we gotta wake up to this fucking thing. You wanna know what's really fucking funny, Zach? Here's the fucking thing. Sometimes when the Rooster wakes up a little too early, like whenever a Rooster wakes up after going... Stop! Whenever a fucking rooster goes to sleep and they wake up a little early, whenever they wake up, they think it's time to cock-a-doodle. So if they get rustled awake at like midnight, they just start cock-a-doodling for half an hour, and they don't stop. They just don't stop.
It's like, I think it's like funnier to me right now because of like cider just makes me very giggly when I drink it.
Okay, I will admit it is kind of funny.
It's very funny.
He's literally standing up against the window right now, cock-a-doodling at me. I think he wants to join the stream soon. We'll do that.
Oh, Roosty.
In the meantime, should
go
we
right
answer
ahead.
some questions?
Actually, here, I'll put this right here for the sake of context. Nice rooster. Because it's funny. There he is. I'll put Junior there too, because he's a funny guy. Okay, start answering questions. What do we got?
From Subsa, did Jsoull
No.
watch Skibbity Toilet?
I don't watch literal toilet humor, diarrhea, shit, filth. Yeah, even the rooster agrees. I'm not interested in watching a bunch of weird toilets that are degrading the name of Gary's mod. Gary's mod used to have dignity.
It
Team
did.
Fabulous?
War of the servers.
I mean, well,
Team Fabulous.
I mean, that's like
Gary's Mod Idiot Box, the classics. And now, whenever anyone remembers Gary's Mod, it's like, oh, you mean poo poo pee 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 poo poo?
I mean, see, like I sort of see Gmod stop motion as almost like a separate thing to Gmod the game, right? Because it's like when I think Gmod the game, I think of Dark RP servers that have the fucking
I'm really
like
sorry,
neckbeard
Dark
admins.
RP is really fucking funny. I have a really fucking funny story.
No, they're fucking hilarious, but it's still really like insane.
Gary's Mod used to have some of the most awesome game modes, and now it's just boiled down to TTT and fucking Dark RP. They used to have one called Pirate Ship Wars, where it's literally giant physics-based pirate ships where you can fire cannons and punch holes into each other's hulls, and the ships would actually like sink because they're physics-based and shit. And it was so much fucking fun.
All right, but here's the thing: real ones remember sled build.
I remember Water Wars. That's where you'd build a boat, and then the entire map would flood with water, and then you had to fucking like try to sink each other with weapons. That was really fun. Like, there's actually a lot of really good classics.
Anyways,
like a lot of really good ones.
I'd sip to that.
OG Gary's Mod players. No, but the funniest Dark RP experience is with me and a friend of mine who's also named Zach. We're on one of those like shitty fucking servers, like you pay like $50 a month to be an admin. This is like probably like back when I was in like high school, like 6 years ago. And I remember it was especially funny because you'd have to pay real life money to get cars, like fancy cars. Like you see people driving around like those Ferrari S-car shit, like neon pink and like painted like hot rods. And we decided to make a business out of tolling people coming in and out of the city. So we would have a toll booth that's just like a wooden plank, and then make them pay us $2, and then we'd open it up for them. Here's the problem. One guy decided not to pay. And we're like, okay, we'll let you through. We lift up the wood plank, and then when he drove through, he slammed it back down on him. And for some reason, the server admins didn't remove physics-based damage from vehicles. So when we crushed him with the wood plank, it blew up his car that he paid like probably like $30 for.
Dude, Jsoull, you need to look at a channel called Bub Games on YouTube. It's like nothing but videos like that.
What's even better, Zap, is the fact that once we realized what we could get away with, we ran. The map was called Evo City, by the way. We ran. Yeah, that's like my favorite.
It's a classic map.
We went to the garage and we just systematically destroyed everyone's cars, including the admin's cars.
Well, that's going too far when you get the admin cars.
Systematically destroyed every single one of their cars, including like all the ones we saw on the street. Like imagine someone like desperately like trying to drive away from you, and then we make a roadblock out of random junk. We just fucking smash their car like a cartoon.
Dude, it's better when you use the color tool and make the roadblock completely invisible, so somebody's just driving like normal.
We would set up ambushes like that. We would lay out big, like wide fucking blocks and planks in the middle of the roads, and they would slam their cars into them and explode.
Dude, Dark RP is so much
It
fucking
is-
fun when you don't care, like
It's
about
like real
anything on the
fucking
server.
chaos. I love it.
Sounds pretty
it's
fun.
really fun.
It
Yeah, more
is.
questions though.
More-
We've been missing those.
From Sigrith. Question for Jsoull. If AI could help the workflow of your animation, would you use it?
It's dangerous. I would be very much against. Like, it depends what we're talking about. I've seen AI used to help, like, color frames in animation. Like, when it saves repetitive tasks, for instance, like just cleaning up line work or helping out shading between multiple frames in an FBF scene. Sure, but I wouldn't want to use it to like make up work which is, let's say, benefited by the human touch. Like, I wouldn't want to replace animation outright, or the personal touches I add to sprites, or details within scenes, for instance. But I really worry about where Madness is going, because I know people are going to start doing AI-generated Madness sprites. Like, you already can probably do that with existing tools. And some guy's going to do it, and then everyone's going to do it. And then at that point, I basically just throw up my hands.
I think like, I mean, I think like a good example of like a productive way to use AI is how it was done with Spider-Verse, because it was just done to help with other
I
angles.
didn't even know they used AI for Spider-Verse.
It was very minimal.
If it's
that's
used as
why.
a tool in
Like
the
I
belt,
think
that's a lot different versus it being used to supplement talent, if that makes sense.
Yeah, like it's more like it's okay when used like, I guess like as a like an automation kind of thing rather than something to create something out of
Well,
nothing.
the issue,
You know,
well,
it's like because it's
well, yeah, I know
you're
what
not
you mean.
replacing
Like,
yourself
the fucking
then.
industry, especially the gaming industry, is seeing like absurd layoffs, and I'm pretty sure that's born from like these big companies basically saying, well, we can do what we currently do. We can make this much money by just having AI do a bunch of the menial work. And
There's something funny with that recently. Like, sorry to interrupt. It's like it reminds me of ChatGPT like about a month ago went like absolutely off of the rails. Like it was just spewing incoherent nonsense like all the time. And it was funny watching like a bunch of companies who laid people off in favor of just using AI to write shit, like just fucking squirm for like 2
because
weeks.
it didn't work. I mean, I think centralizing a lot of your talent in an online service is generally not a very tactical decision, because obviously if that service is compromised through financial or legal reasons and you're up shit creek, it's like, think of it like that. Like, imagine like a business actually using the majority of its labor digitally through like ChatGPT, and if you just don't have access to ChatGPT anymore, well, then your business ceases to function. But a lot of companies are they're just gonna dive headfirst into that because, oh well, we can save money by, you know, getting just a ChatGPT subscription instead of actually paying out wages and insurance. And we're gonna reach a fucking threshold where like unemployment's gonna reach at least 50% if what's happening now continues to happen. Like, I'm serious, like 50% unemployment or more is what I'm thinking.
So everywhere is gonna turn into LA.
And you don't want to live in LA.
No, you
Holy
do not.
shit!
Oh my god, it's Dark Signal.
Oh god, Dark's here. I gotta add him. He's growing in size.
Yes.
He's gonna sit. No, I know.
He's gonna sit. Oh no!
He's sitting on Junior. He's like riding him like a horse.
What? No, put Junior on top of Dark
this is
Signal's
funnier.
head.
Your transmission has
Hello,
been
Dark
interrupted.
Signal. Can everyone on the stream hear you okay too?
That depends. Does anyone know who everyone else is talking to?
Well, it's very good. Well, it's actually
Speaking
good.
of which, speaking of which, someone mentioned in the chat that you, Jsoull, are quieter.
Well, I just
compared to
fixed that
Zapshot.
right now. I turned myself up by another 20%. What's so funny?
Just the way you said that. Just well, I just fixed that
Yeah, I'm
right
sassy
now.
motherfucker, ain't I?
It's also because again, the cider makes everything.
How
like,
about you
twice
stop
as funny to
drinking
me.
yourself to sleep?
Alcohol makes everything better, children.
Or rather, stop hotboxing
Damn.
yourself to sleep.
Smoke weed.
Huh? I actually am physically incapable of smoking now because of the lung
Damn.
surgery. Like if I do that, my lung will just fucking collapse
for
again.
everyone who
like
doesn't know in the
guaranteed.
stream, Zapchan doesn't have any lungs anymore. He's carrying around like he carries around a bagpipe, and he has to play the bagpipe to get the air in and out of his lungs.
Mathematic.
No, my lung. You got that mixed up. My lungs are bagpipes. Yeah.
Okay, but yeah, Dark, we're just working on shit for the movie and answering questions and just having a fun time. So
I'm catching up on some of those questions. Where did we leave off?
The next question. Do it now.
From Andrew Nursh. Where do you start when you want to make madness animations and you already know how to animate?
If we're talking about working on like a solo project, we can definitely get multiple answers from all the different people here for this. For me, I don't plan out my movies, or more accurately, I don't plan out scenes like on paper. I don't like, I'm gonna very thoroughly, okay, this guy walks in and he fires one bullet here, then he will dodge, and then this guy walks. No, I just like, I go into a scene thinking, okay, I want this to happen, I want this to happen, and I want this to happen, and everything in between is just improv. And that tends to have a pretty good track record for the scenes I've been doing so far.
That depends on
but
who
I
you're
know,
asking.
like, Dark Signal's basically the opposite, where he very thoroughly plans out his scenes and they're extremely tactical, which works for his animation style because Sin of Madness allows for much more, let's say, in-depth choreography than standard Madness characters. How about you give your answer, Dark Signal?
Well, it's not really. I don't really go as far as drawing out storyboards unless if it's a much bigger project, like some that got canceled. But as far as I'm concerned, I just give the scene time to think it over before I start animating it, and usually it comes to a pretty concise result. But it's usually influenced by my music choice. All of my animations live and die by the music. If I can picture something to a music track, then that's what I go for.
Sorry about getting blasted for the music there for a second. For some reason, AudioB decided, hey, you picked a new track, so we're going to set your audio from 3 to 23. I don't know why, I just decided to do that. So, sorry.
Right after we were gassing
I
up
think
this
the
program.
only reason that I had done storyboarding was so that way the music artist that I was working with would know what kind of music cues I'm going for.
Fucking music cues.
Well, it was my first time having a dedicated music artist to work with me, so it was a first, and it called for corroborative measures.
Collaboration. But now, for subjugation, you have the power of using a track from Project Nexus Poo.
Which I am
Good.
still using.
If you stopped using it, you don't even want to know what I'll do to you.
Also, real quick.
What can you do to me that life hasn't done to me already?
Yeah, sir.
Okay, that's kind of mean.
Some people in the chat are saying my audio is unsynced, and like I'm not entirely sure what they mean.
It's possible because there's nothing different about you than there is to anyone else, including myself.
Yeah, like it's just coming through Discord, so I'm not really sure how that's happening. But that's what the chat's been saying.
Maybe it's because you're Scottish.
Yeah,
in
maybe you're a
different
piece
time
of
zone.
shit, Zap. You ever think about that?
Yeah.
Okay, well, good. It's always good to keep that in mind.
Improv can work to great effect to sell the genuine reactions of anything that goes on in a scene, but you really have to be invested in who your actual characters are, knowing who they are and how they would react to get that proper reaction.
I find that improv works well for keeping things very chaotic and fast-paced. And that works quite well for what's happening in the commercial sector, especially because it's just a bunch of crazy batshit OCs trying to escape the megaplex while everything's coming down on top of them. I mean, they're...
Berlin Wall comes tumbling down.
Just as like a basic idea of commercial sector for everyone else. Imagine like every Madness OC is trapped inside a giant concrete cube, and a professional military and a bunch of crazy technophobe weirdos are coming after them with knives and pliers, trying to peel their faces off and cram salt crystals into their fucking throats.
Make them breathe asbestos.
It sounds like one of the Dream speed
Are
runs.
you serious? Yes, you are serious. Okay. Cool. I'll keep that in mind. But yeah, it's a pretty fun time. What do you think, Zapchan? What do you do when you plan out a scene?
I mean, I have like a pretty basic like stencil going on in my mind, you know, like an idea of how the scene's gonna play out, but then I sort of improvise as I'm going. However, as of recently, I'm wanting to get away from that, and I'm gonna start actually, like, I want to make like animatics for my stuff, because I think for collaborative projects that's gonna be a lot better, because it's usually just been like a set of guidelines you give to each member of a collab through Discord or something. But I want to make like more cinematic kind of shit, like with exact shots, you know, exact placements.
You hear
of
that, Dark
characters and
Signal? Is
exact
going to do
movements they'll
cinematic
make.
madness. You better stop him.
Oh.
It's just I got like a, it's like I have entire scenes choreographed in my head, and it's like I don't want them to go to waste. So it's like, if nothing else, I can at least then also have the animatic to show like the idea I had, just that I don't end up making it.
Now you're thinking
Yeah.
choreography.
I mean, and we're both thinking like, what is the standard for most movie makers?
Now
Well,
you're
the
thinking with
standard's
angles.
pretty. Damn that cat!
Oh, poos.
It's fucking Dash, that bastard. You know, when I visited Dark Signal 16 years ago, I went to go pet that cat, and it fucking slashed my veins open, and I was bleeding all over the place. And the Dark Signal's like, Jsoull, stop bleeding on my rug!
And the cat was like, yummy.
Like, I woke up with that thing gnawing on my veins, Dark. What do you got to say about that?
You didn't
Oh
wake
yeah, I was
up to
screaming
it.
myself to sleep. Anyways, next question.
I don't get
Answer
to
it
answer the
then,
question.
bastard!
I just, if I have a cool idea I want to do, I just throw it into the animation. I usually just come up with ideas as I work
That
on
happens
it.
to me sometimes too, where I just kind of go with the flow. But usually I
Yeah.
go into a scene with like one gimmick in mind for something that's gonna happen. It's
I try to add any. I want to make animations a bit more different or unique with like different enemies or different weapons to, again, make it more unique. So
well,
try
good
to
job,
strive for that.
Cheese. I'm proud of you. I'm so proud of you.
Thanks.
Next question.
From Subsa, question to Jsoull. If some company was to give you money to promote their product in Max 2, will you make it?
Well, does that mean like a commercial put at like the beginning or end of the movie? Or does that mean like putting like a product in like the background of a scene, like to see like an advertisement that's featured or something?
I think that's what it means. Like if Coke asked you to put a freaking Coke can in the commercial sector.
If it's something completely unobtrusive and they're giving me a lot of money and it doesn't compromise the film, I don't really see why I'd care. Like, if I'm given $500,000 to put a single Coke can in the background of a scene, why wouldn't I do that? But if it was something like, wait, Abaddon has to stop the final battle with all the OCs, stare straight into the camera and say, so just so you recognize this, my evil deeds were only possible thanks to delicious and refreshing taste of carbonated Coca-Cola. And he holds it right up to the camera.
I would have expected Red Bull.
Talks like a South Park Canadian.
Yeah, it would be kind of funny, wouldn't it?
Abaddon looks at the camera and says, looks like we've begun the Maxification.
That would be kind of funny. Damn you! Next question.
From Nexus Zero, have you ever heard or played Trepang 2?
I know about Trepang 2, and I want to play Trepang 2. I also want to play Helldivers 2, but I still don't have the goddamn time for it. I've been so damn busy since I got home.
I'm gonna be getting that
Dark
shortly.
Signal is like a massive fan of Helldivers 1. And from what I've seen of Helldivers 2, it looks like one of the most fun multiplayer experiences ever. It reminds me of, like, how much I loved PlanetSide 2 specifically. Like, the really big chaotic battles, like, you running into the field as a soldier, tanks flying by and explosions overhead, like, seeing, like, the airships battle in the distance. And, like, there is no feeling quite like the moment where you recognize that all these are players, like actual other people, and you got like fucking giant dropships crashing and exploding next to you as you're running by tanks firing at you, and it's just like, when you get those little snippets of those intense combat moments, and you recognize they're all human beings just like interacting with each other, it's a feeling that's hard to compartmentalize. It's a lot different than if you're just fighting NPCs.
Well, you're not fighting
badass.
other players.
I know, but in Helldivers 2,
too.
you're working together to fight these ridiculously intense battles that look like a lot of fun. But what I've seen of Mavalon Creek, it makes me want to play just for that. Oh, you've seen Mavalon Creek 2, Dark? Oh, that looks
yes, I
so
have.
fucking fun. I've seen a lot of it. Specifically some, like...
Would you rather go there or to Ukraine?
The Helldivers have already started making their own chapters
That's
like
already
Warhammer.
kind of awesome. I would rather...
Everyone's
I'd rather
going
go to
all in on
Mavalon
this.
Creek because that's a video game, cheese, and I don't actually have to risk my life going to fucking Ukraine. I think that answer's pretty fucking easy, wouldn't you think? Dick spit.
You
That's
don't want to
my
have
word.
fun with your friends in
I would like to have
Mavalon Creek?
fun, but I just... Like... I wish I had more time. I want to play Trepang 2 because it's basically like the Fear 3 we never got. Fuck real Fear 3. It's not Fear 3. It's not Fear 3. It's a fake one.
Still need to play the first 2 fears.
Are you...
Well, I played
I was
the
just about to say,
first
you
fear.
didn't fucking play the first one.
But it's like, there was like an expansion for that game, though, and then there's
expansion
Fear
called
2.
Project Pussy. Project Pussy.
Project
yeah.
Pussy?
You mean Project Perseus?
How
Perseus
about
Mandate?
Perseus snap your neck?
Extraction Point?
Yeah, there's a lot. There's actually a lot of expansions
God,
for
he's-
it. Now that I think about it.
You actually just made the Predator noise from the movie Predator.
Yeah, I kill people. In case you forgot. Next question.
From Puda. I'm not sure if this is a real question or not, but how can I join the Max 2 team?
If you aren't a creepy weirdo, if you are eager and able to work on assignments when I need them, and if you're able to do stuff in the style that I need, then you would definitely be considered for the team.
And don't forget having the integrity to not sell
Oh
yourself
yeah, and
out.
also like being someone who's just able to work on
Baran.
stuff. Oh yeah, Baran. Being able to like work on shit and not compromise or sabotage the project like a couple people who I thought I could trust ended up doing. And that was never fun to deal with. I'm very picky with the people who I let in, and I'll say outright that just being talented does not give you a ticket into the call lab, or I guess
Talent is cheap.
basically,
Discipline is
yeah.
expensive.
There's a lot of really talented
Damn.
people in the community, but a lot of them are not people I can trust with the film, because I've trusted them before and they've failed to be rational, reasonable human beings. I'll say it like that. Is that a good...
I just noticed in the image that I'm
Yes,
riding
it's
the
kind of
Rooster.
funny, isn't it? I like how your
Tell
tail
you.
perfectly curves around the front, so it looks like you're actually riding him.
Like, I can't believe Dark Signal's riding the cock.
It looks funny.
Oof.
Oh yeah, we'll do the Rooster stream. I'll grab the cock in a few minutes.
You're gonna
Yeah, I
go
gotta
grab the cock.
but I want to work more on this.
What is wrong with you two?
Maybe you're the one with the problem, Cheese. You ever think
It's a-
about that?
Yeah, in a group of
Bunch of
weirdos,
creepy
and I'm not the weird
weirdos
one.
who
I
take a
guess I am the weirdo.
disturbing amount of pleasure doing
Does he
this
know?
weird shit. No, but for getting onto the team, obviously being talented, but also being able to like match my style to where you're able to make. I mean, it also depends what you're doing. If we're talking sprites, you need to be able to match the style close enough to where I don't need to completely redo everything. Autumn is a guy who did some pretty impressive sprite work, but he was never able to match my style. Like, basically, I would give him test assignments, and he would hand me back shit where I would basically need to completely redo all the line work and all the details, because he just was either not willing or not able to match my aesthetic. And so I can't have people on the team where I'm redoing all of your work, or else it defeats the point of you even being there. Yeah,
Somebody
Dark Signal's
microwaving something?
microwaving a hamster. The
Oh.
bomb has been planted.
Alright. See, everything's
It's
funny to
bad.
me right now.
Nah, but Yeah, Dark, what you said about integrity is very true, especially in the community. There's a lot of talented people who I wish I could have worked with. I mean, there's probably an alternate history of the universe where I ended up working with Baran on Max 2 and ended up being pretty cool, but, you know, things didn't exactly turn out that way. For multiple... Or Armage, yeah. Or Overtry, or, you know...
Out of the community right now, I think, like, somebody I actively, like, really want to work on something with that I haven't already is probably Little Lucky Link. Like, the Dusk of the Madness guy.
At all. Like, that... Like, him coming back is, like, a statistical impossibility in and of itself.
Well, he's also just a really cool guy. Like, I love the way he draws zombies. It's like I'd want to work with him on something.
He also did some really impressive traditional artwork. Like, he did this, like, massive piece with, like, this super intricately detailed fucking, like, landscape portrait with, like, psychedelic dragons and shit. I'm not sure if you saw that one. But it was pretty rad.
I mean, he has a whole range of, like, amazing paintings.
Isn't he working... He mentioned recently he's working on another zombie-related project. Was it Madness-related? Or...
I think, like, I mean, he's done, like, some Silent Hill stuff, I think, that's, like, not related to Madness, but I think he is also doing a Madness thing. I don't know anything about it, I just know that he's making it.
I know it involves, like, something in the far north. We'll have to see how it goes. Next question.
For something that's more recent, from Redead Ida, Jsoull. How the fuck did you make that sprite? It looks like a 3D model.
I mean, I've been making this movie for like fucking 4 years, 5 years. It just kind of happens. I do make 3D references for like backgrounds and some complicated up-close shots, but like for most of the time I was making it just based on the... For what, like, especially like early on in the movie, I was still using perspective grids, which are good for, like, you know, it's good for improv, especially for background details, but eventually shit started getting way too complicated to depend on that for, especially for the, you know, rapidly swapping camera angles and shit. I try to use a hybrid style without depending too much on 3D assets because I want to have it feel authentically like Madness. Like, if I had, like, outright 3D characters in scenes, or fully 3D backgrounds that are, like, rotating, I feel like that would be kind of, like, a bit much. And that'd be straying away from what I want the movie to feel like. Does that make sense to you? Does it? All of you.
Who are you asking?
Good.
Yes.
Good. Okay.
I identify
I want
with your
Maxification to feel like it's still within the realm of being a Madness cartoon and not being like a 3D animation, if that makes sense. I want it to feel like as far as the classic cartoon format can be pushed without it breaking the format, if that makes sense. Hopefully that answers your question. Next question.
From Crassapon. Are you using storyboard for animation or just animating on the go with
Basically,
an idea in the head?
the latter. Yeah, just kind of. I have an idea. I already answered. I just go into a scene with a couple ideas and I improv the rest. Everyone here has a different way of doing it, but my way of doing it is just mostly improv, and that's been pretty successful so far based on what I've worked on. I've been pretty happy with that. I'm gonna switch the artist real quick. I love this guy, but I'm gonna get some other music. Hopefully this time it doesn't blast out your fucking ears. Alright. We got a couple of choices here. A lot of really good music, but what will get me copyright struck? We'll have to find out. Next question, Cheese.
From Diazlik. Hello again. First, want to wish good luck on Max 2. Really want to see it finished. And also, I have a question about the 3D BGs. How much are they lagging, and how do you optimize them?
For optimization, I mean, it's not like you can actually import 3D models into Flash. Okay, well you kind of can, but
you could.
But
back
it
in
is
the days of Swift 3D,
fucking awful. You can basically import like a square and a sphere, and if you want anything more than that, stop the fucking beeping! Jesus!
Oh, hey, it actually stopped.
Your hamster's ready.
Just a little one.
Motherfucker. Anyways, like I was gonna say, 3D and Flash, it seems like it would be something that Adobe would want to pursue, but instead they want you to literally scream yourself to sleep and smash your head into fucking your monitor and punch glass and chew on rocks until your teeth crack and fall out, because they want you to be in as much pain as possible. Them implementing a feature that would actually help with their workflow is the opposite of their plan. I don't import 3D models into Flash because that just would not work, and it would lag so badly it would be unusable. Like just for like I'm currently on my Windows 7 PC, but I got a Windows 10 PC I use for newer programs, mostly for like editing, and even on my supercomputer, Flash will lag horrifically bad. Like even the newest version of Animate runs like shit.
I mean, it's because they don't have multi-core support.
Yeah.
You just blasted out the eardrums of your entire audience.
Smashing.
That's not good, Heather.
Cryos, damn, you scared the shit out of me.
He rages like almost every second. He does that off stream as well. Like this is no different to how he
when
talks
Zach met
like
me
in
in
private.
person, I almost beat him to death with a glass bottle because he...
Dude, I remember when it was like, okay, listen, when we were driving like back to your place from the airport, okay? I remember like I was already used to like your mannerisms from talking to you online, of course, but when you like I see you actually acting them out in person, it hits different because like I'm in the fucking like I'm riding shotgun like in the fucking car, and I see you like.
I'm not even a foot away from this guy. He could actually beat me with a golf club.
Well, no, because he started like slamming the fucking hood of the car. He was just like, like when he was just like doing his manic laughing. Or not the hood, sorry, the dashboard.
It's pretty funny, isn't it?
Yeah, okay, see that, but on the fucking dashboard of the car that he's driving. Okay, like picture
Like,
that.
imagine me smashing the dashboard of my car while I'm driving at 99 miles per hour on a 12-lane highway.
Dude, like, not only that, but like you're way fucking taller than me. It was
like when you see
intimidating.
this angry tall guy smashing his fist on the dashboard. That was a bit amusing to you.
Yeah, and making a face like he's trying to take the meanest shit you've ever seen.
It's funny.
I remember when Jsoull and I met up last year. I remember seeing him striding forward, straight towards me through the parking lot
really
that we
scary,
were at.
wasn't it?
Pretty
He's striding
noticeable.
towards you with my long legs ready to kick you right in the nuts.
Sure, kick me over the
Kick
dock.
you in the nuts. Almost done shading this fucking piece of shit. I gotta do the set. I gotta do the highlights and then the lowlights, and then this gun will be so realistic when you see it. It's gonna be magical. Oh, okay, well maybe that's a bit much, but next question.
From Rautha's Heart. Hey Jsoull, did you get anyone to look after the chickens while you were gone? Or did you use
No, I
another
have some people
method?
looking after the chickens every couple days, making sure they're okay. I got back and they're all fine. They took winter pretty well. They all sleep in the same hutch together and they stay nice and cozy. They got a heating pad in there for them. I got a heated water bowl so they're, they didn't freeze. They did fine. I did miss them though. I miss them a lot. They're like, it might seem silly, but I really do love my chickens. They're really funny. Like, as much as I meme about being angry when they cock-a-doodle, like, it actually just makes me smile. Like, I find it really funny.
I also like your chickens.
No, because my
fun.
office, right out the window, I got my chicken coop, and they hop up to the glass, and they like to watch me while I work. And they sometimes cock-a-doodle at me when they want attention, and I just kind of find it funny.
On that note, Moshel wants to know when Rooster's gonna show up.
I'll start a chicken poll real quick. Engagement.
As if you
poll.
need to.
I like how that's the picture of Rooster you use, like on the stream as well, by the way.
Okay, my M key, I spilled some sweet tea on my keyboard a bit ago, and now whenever I hit the M key, it sticks and it types like 50 M's.
Oh yeah, Jsoull, I have a question for you that I forgot to ask before the stream. Like, okay, so what? All right, so when abouts am I gonna be doing the fucking Like the test requests thing. Like
maybe after the chicken, we'll see. The cock camera poll is up, so everyone has to vote.
I was gonna say cock always comes first.
The cock camera. Damn, Junior's getting the shit kicked out of him.
Please. It's because people love
funny,
Roosty,
but
bro.
Junior's also funny.
Okay, was it Roosty or Junior that didn't like Flash 8? I forget. Okay, yeah, that's why people like Roosty.
You're all naysayers and scumbags.
There's also the infamous clip of him just fucking like right into the fucking camera.
How about I break your neck?
Yeah, you would have to steal a spine.
Good point. I think I'm mostly done this type of shading here. I start to do the cell shading, which is a bit more fun. And I gotta clean some lines.
There's a guy asking if you could turn up the volume for everyone.
Is this a problem with everyone else? Is anyone else complaining about there still being low volume?
Apparently this guy is.
Well, then maybe you can go to hell. Jeez is almost 30 votes, and Roosty's definitely in the lead.
People want to see Roosty. They've spoken.
How about I break their neck? Ruther's heart. Jsoull, is Junior funnier than Roosty? I mean, they're both pretty funny, just in their own way. I'll say that. Answer a few more questions before we go grab the bird.
From Graph. A question to any of you guys. I've lost interest in animating madness since I got into drawing, and I'm having a hard time trying to get back into it. Do you have any advice to rekindle my interest?
Don't force yourself.
I would say if you push yourself back into doing it, it's gonna feel even more like a chore. I would say, if you're having more fun just drawing, you should just stick with drawing. You shouldn't feel obligated to animate if you don't take any pleasure in doing it. Like,
yeah, I mean it's
like
a
I would
hobby
still
at the
be
end of the
working on
day.
Max 2 if I didn't enjoy it. Also because like it would be an inherently different movie if I wasn't enjoying making it. I'd be like cutting a lot of corners and fucking AI generating scenes and shit. But everything still has my touch, and I'm working it all by hand because I just like working on the movie, and the passion I hope shines through when the animation comes out. And if you don't find pleasure in working on it anymore, I'd recommend just, well, if you have a better time doing illustrations, I'd just say keep doing illustrations, because that way you'll be at a better stage in your life. You'll be more at peace. How's that for an answer, Cheese?
I didn't
Bastard!
From Zero Division Error. Question about the N51. Will all the captains in respective companies make a show on Maxification?
Including the guy up top, who shall currently not be named. He shows up too. No! Well, kinda. But no, everyone shows up. Everyone. And let's say there's a good reason for them to show up too. It's the most important thing to ever happen in the universe. All hands on deck. Like N50.
All hands on dick. Wait.
Are you like queer for me or something? Do you want to like? Is there something you had to? Is there something you didn't tell me back?
It was a joke.
Back when we were in the killing fields of Afghanistan. You didn't.
It was a joke. It was a joke. Bro, I got married recently. Yeah. It was a joke.
Almost forgot. Happy marriage, by the way. I think you're the first Madness marriage.
I mean, I didn't... I don't know. I feel weird calling it a Madness marriage. Just because, like, it's not... I mean,
obviously it's why you got married. Are you crazy? You only married her because she's in the Madness community.
There's not a single other reason in the world you'd marry someone under any circumstances, ever. Also, Roosty kicked Junior's ass, so we're gonna go grab Roosty in about, like, 10 minutes.
I married my wife so that I can have big titty sprites forever.
What did it cost?
Oh yeah, a quick tangent off of the big titty thing is I remember recently I saw someone uploaded. I mean, you probably know who I'm talking about, Zap. I think I mentioned it to you. Someone uploaded like a madness test. It was about 10-20 seconds. It was just some like anime chick with giant titties and big eyes, and it had like 10 million views or something.
I mean, yeah,
it
it's
had 10
Coomers.
million views, and I look at Project Kreber, and it doesn't even have like, barely has like a million.
I mean that's just how it's always been.
I know, but
like
it's
everywhere.
Just, like that's
every
just been
community.
That, the degeneracy Coomer shit, and just like noticing that talent is no longer inherent to popularity. I've just become very, let's say, dispirited when it comes to views and popularity in general.
I also want to say before it gets buried, Anuva, Jenner met his Jenner met his wife before he did Madness.
Yeah,
like way before.
I think he was already married by the time he was like doing shit. So.
Yeah, like him and Lucy were together for like fucking forever.
He's happily married.
He has 2 kids as well. Like dude's doing well.
And actually, like as much as I memed on Degener, like I really love the guy. He was a huge inspiration to me when I was starting out. Like I loved playing around on his sprite sheets and shit. It was just always really fun. I like him a lot. He's a cool guy. He's funny. He's really funny. But I at the end of the day, I respect him. He's a fun guy.
I still keep to my headcanon that in real life DJ Jenner is just like a hyper intelligent, extremely well spoken person that like outclasses everybody he meets.
He's just like a crazy weirdo.
Well, like he's not a weirdo. He's just like I think a lot of what he says just gets lost in translation. Is the issue.
Almost everything.
I mean, he did before. I don't know about now.
I don't really keep in touch with him. Or I kind of did for one thing, but I'm not sure if I'm going to use it.
Last time I spoke to him was when I uploaded Unliberated, and he just said like, I liked your movie, but I didn't like Cringe Hank at the end of it. Which, I mean, fair.
What did he like about Cringe Hank?
No, I mean, he didn't like that I put Cringe Hank at the end of like the salvaged liberation footage that I uploaded.
Creepy weirdo. Oh, I think Roosty wants to come out.
Okay, show them Roosty.
Okay,
come on. They
okay,
voted.
okay, everyone right now, do you all want to see Roosty? Want me to go grab him?
Fuck you! Just voted for him.
Fine, I hear you, Roosty. I'm coming for you. I'm coming for you. When I get there, I'm gonna snap your goddamn neck. See this guy right here? Yeah, he's gonna show up this big cock. He's gonna show a big fat cock on stream. It's funny. Okay, I'm gonna go grab him.
It's funny.
Roosty is a big bundle of joy. He's gonna make cock-a-doodling noises. He's gonna be a fun, silly guy. Because
I just like there's the stream delay, so I just see like how much you shook the image of Roosty around when you're saying that.
It's kind of funny. It's funny. Let me just get the camera set up real quick. 1 sec. Window capture. No, video capture. Yeah, there we go. Yep. Do that one. And okay, works. Just get the camera set up real quick. Unsaved changes. How about you go break your fucking neck, you piece of shit?
Also, thank you, chat. I'm glad that you all enjoyed Cringe Hank.
Cringe Hank!
It's my favorite thing I've worked on still.
I hate cringe. Who likes cringe? Not me. I hate it.
I love cringe.
Break your fucking neck, you piece of shit. Okay, I'll be right back. I'm gonna go grab the rooster. One memento. Okay. Be right back. Also, in the meantime, if there's any questions that you guys can answer while you're here, answer them, and then I can get to them when I get back. But I gotta go grab that fucking piece of shit bird.
We'll jump ahead to this question by Mr. Sandeater. Anyone here watched Animatrix?
I've seen some of it.
My answer is no. I've never even heard of it.
Oh, it's like it's a part in the Matrix, so it's like a spin-off of the Matrix where it's literally just that but an anime, right? Because the Matrix borrowed a lot from anime, so it sort of made sense to have it go back the other way.
It almost sounded like Omnitrix from Ben 10.
No, it's I mean, I like the Animatrix. I need to see the rest of it. I mean,
I
I've
was
sat
thinking
through
Animaniac.
It's like I sat through Matrix 1 and 3, or 1 through 3. So if I could sit through 2 and 3, I could sit through the Animatrix. It's just that my fat ass hasn't sat down and watched through it yet.
I only ever saw the third one.
You only ever saw the third Matrix?
Never the first or second.
What the fuck, bro? You saw the worst one.
Yeah, I guess I did.
Dude, okay, watch the first Matrix. It's both a classic and it's still like there's a lot of sort of moments in it, right?
I don't even
like,
remember much of what happened in the third one.
I mean, it wouldn't have really made sense if you didn't watch the first two, but it's kind of just like
They
the
took us to that movie
conclusion.
theater for the sake of going to theaters.
I thought all three were
I
pretty awesome.
do like I highly recommend watching the first Matrix at least once. Like it's one of those sorts of movies.
Remember movie theaters back when people actually did stuff together? Those
I
were
went
good
to a
times.
movie theater when I was in Texas. Like we saw a movie called The Beekeeper. It's an action movie and it starred Jason Statham and he made bee puns the whole time.
Jumping ahead to this other question by Kairos, I can answer this for Jsoull. Are you planning any other projects after Max 2? As far as Madness projects go, no. This is going to be his quote-unquote magnum opus. He is planning other game projects after this, though. They're not Madness related, but he's going to take a dive into those.
He's also planning to do like a webcomic from what he's told me.
I don't know if he's still doing the webcomic. The plans have been jumbling back and forth with all of these new ideas. I don't know how he's going to manage all of them, but he's going to try.
I mean, hey, he'll be free though. He'll be free finally.
The end of Madness.
Well, it's going to be another few years before he's finally free. I don't know why he would want to jump in on the Project Nexus mod that I was conceptualizing, knowing that.
Next question. Or not.
Looking ahead here, I don't really see any other questions that aren't specifically for Jsoull. I mean,
From
Torwalk
Darren-
is asking, why does Maxification take so long to come out? Because he's doing everything he can, that's why.
Because animation is very easy and it only takes a while because all of us are super lazy.
Jsoull doesn't want to have any regrets leaving anything out in this movie, so he's not leaving anything out. If something comes in his head, there it is. Don't want to be there.
Yeah, I mean, I remember like he likened it to one of the Evangelion rebuild movies in terms of animation, just where there's
Time
like an
management
insane amount of
began.
detail.
Rooster has been captured against his will. And now comes
Oh,
the
boy.
moment of pain, misery, and suffering. As long as it doesn't flap like crazy, stay right there, Roosty. You know what's good for you, and don't break your goddamn neck. Okay, how's everything going here?
Now it's going to
Better
poop
not.
on the desk again.
We answered pretty much every question that wasn't like specifically.
Stay
asked
still,
towards
Roosty,
you.
and don't poop on me. These are nice pants. Yeah, bark, bark, bark. Okay, hold on, Roosty's incoming.
Oh, it actually there's a
There he
question for
is.
you there, Dark.
Two questions.
We'll get to it.
Yeah.
They make them nice and big. Oh yeah, Roosty, you're giant.
What the fuck? What are you
He's right
doing,
here.
bro? Okay, see, I couldn't see your camera. I just heard the audio. Like,
Okay, that is kind of funny.
I can see you going, oh yeah, Roosty.
Well, here he is. He's still got this big dingly thing on his head. I'm not really sure what it does.
Oh, he's fucking.
It's lucky neck meats.
Oh, he's still beautiful. I love that.
He's so
He's a nice
shy.
bird. He's a good friend. He's a friendly rooster who's never attacked or killed anybody.
Does he like hurting other
Yes.
people?
Yes, he does.
Well, you just said he's never attacked or
Any
killed
humans.
anyone.
But it's like if he did, he would like it.
I
is
threw
the
a
deal.
cow in their coop once, and when I came back, it was just bones.
Just looking at this fucking rooster is so funny
Why
to
is
me
it
right now
funny?
for some reason. I don't know. I think it's the
Maybe because
cider.
you're drunk off your ass.
I'm not drunk off my ass. It's like how it works is like it's very easy for me to get a slight buzz, but then it's very hard for me to get
Maybe
any more
that's for the
drunk than
better,
that.
for your own safety.
It's like hard alcohol does nothing, but then light alcohol like just gives me a fucking giggly buzz, you know?
He's a fun guy. Hi, Roosty. The camera loves focusing on the background instead of like literally what's right in front of it. Speak, Roosty. Speak! Speak! Yeah, I don't know what this big thing on his face is either. Like, I don't know what this big thing is.
I got a good picture of him with his close-up.
He's a nice calm bird, though. I've raised all the birds since they're chicks. They're pretty friendly towards me. They're pretty used to being held, and they're pretty nice. Nice birds. Nice birds. So, what questions did I miss while I was away?
None
I
that were
still-
directed
I still
towards
see a
you,
shit-
specifically.
I see
That's
a shit
wrong.
ton in here. So,
From Subsa, question to Jsoull. Did you hear about
I have no
Terrasoft
idea what the hell that
DC2?
is. What is it? Have you heard of it?
What was it? Terrasoft DZ2?
DC2.
DC2. Yeah, I got no idea what that is.
I've
I heard recently that there was some guy who made a animation collab mocking one of Subsa's late friends who had died.
I was
I'm guessing maybe
I
that's
was
what
not
it's
aware that
associated
this
with.
even existed. I was
What-
not aware that Subsa was an individual who just recently lost a friend. My condolences. So this was a collab making fun of someone who died in real life? That seems like it's in
Yeah.
particularly that seems like it's in particularly
wow.
bad taste. Who's a member of the collab?
I'm guessing Terasov is a guy related to it. I heard that it was a mobile animation collab, and they mentioned DC too.
Yeah, Roosty,
so-
Roosty doesn't like it either.
That is fucked up though. Like if it's making fun of a guy who actually fucking died, yeah, that's just outstandingly shitty.
It's kind of reminds
Yeah.
me of the shit Xtal did with when Simberine's brother died. I think they did some like weird shit with that. Yeah, the community is not full of nice people. One of the reasons why I don't work with popular people specifically, because sometimes they're the craziest. Like, you think they're normal people, and then they send a bomb to your house, or they send you a photo of some chopped up babies, and you're like, oh yeah, man, this community. Precious Roosty.
Chances are,
Anyway,
some goon in what is it? Older for me has actually sent someone a picture of chopped up babies.
Nice.
Another question from Subsa. So how many times has Adobe
Repeat yourself, sorry. Repeat yourself!
how many
Jesus.
I think
Cheese
the
just
cheese
got
is
a
dying.
fucking plastic bag wrapped around his head.
Many times has it already crashed?
Don't
What?
yell, Cheese, please. You're scaring Roosty.
Yeah, yelling doesn't make it any less laggy.
I was gonna... No,
It's just how we
older
live
chat's
now.
hacking us now because we made fun of the fact that they do horrible, horrible shit.
It wasn't even. I don't even. All that shit's a fucking blur to me at this point. I don't know.
Yeah, Roosty, you heard that, right? Crazy. You're
Am
much
I
better now?
So
Can
how
you
many
hear
times
me?
Flash crashed?
Yes.
How many times has Adobe
At
already
least
crashed?
over 100. Like, I stopped counting after like 90 something in the server. Like, I'll do like I'd mark down what crash number it was. I started counting about 1.5 years ago, and the last I remember it was up to at least 90 in a year. So we're averaging maybe like about 100 a year, around that. Because there's probably some I didn't even count, or some that happened on my other workstation where I wasn't able to write it down. At least 100 crashes a year, certainly. Sounds good, doesn't it? Next question.
From Brim Tall Guy, Jsoull. This has probably been answered, but what is the ammo units called with the shield and spear that showed up in the first
Oh
Max
yeah,
2
those
live
guys.
stream.
Those are called Lancers. No, Rooster, you're gonna calm down. They're called Lancers. They're basically like these cool hard light shield laser beam guys. Currently they only show up in that scene, but I plan to have them appear again in the throne sequence. And maybe a cameo commercial sector. No! Stop it. You're a good bird. Be a calm bird. You're calm. Please, you're calm, right? You're just a bird. You're just a bird. Calm down. But is it really just a bird?
Oh god,
Is it
I'm
really
a
just a
bird?
bird, or is he something else? What lies behind those eyes? Something dark, malevolent. What do you have to say for yourself, Roosty? Say it now, or forever hold your peace. Well, thought so, dickhead. What a piece of shit bird. Fucking hate birds. Fucking hate birds so much. I'm gonna kill them. Okay, not really. Next question.
From Duck with a Hat, Jsoull, is there any way for non-Max 2 members to submit sprites?
I was doing that, I did do that competition. That was supposed to be like a test bed for people doing that. Where it's like, hey, if you can show that you can design Sanford and Deimos in Max 2's style, then you can maybe be like doing sprites for the movie. But instead, everyone just uploaded their own characters, and one guy actually made his own faction, and he recently sent me the faction, and the thing is, it's actually not bad. It's like these like weird cult fucking bandit dudes, but it's also not at all what I asked for. Maybe I'll make a... Oh, hey. Shh, it's okay. You're a bird. Roosty just has to remember he's a bird, and then he calms down. No, but I might make a reference to the guy who made the whole faction for that competition just as like a little joke. Like it might just show up in the movie somewhere, like maybe a little background detail. I mean, if I want to make sprites that perfectly fit in the style of the movie, and I can find a way to use them, I'll probably put them somewhere. Like I can always use more OCs to kill, especially for what happens later. I'll be up for it. Next question.
From Happy Days, Jsoull, I know you've complained about Source 2's lack of developer tools. Do you think Sandbox? Sandbox. Sorry. Do you think that Sandbox, the Gmod successor, could serve as a substitute? They have a lot of dev tools.
Oh, holy fuck!
Oh, I see.
Fucking... Oh my god!
See, Roosty, he knows how I get when we talk about fucking Valve and Source. And you let out a lot of energy there. Isn't that right, buddy? Huh?
Also,
Oh my
hi,
god,
Crinkles.
was here and he came in at this time, but Roosty acted like this. Oh, I see how it is. I try to answer serious questions and he pulls this shit. You're gonna... No, stop it.
No, I heard it again on the stream. Like, it actually sounds like a fucking tornado just hit your house and then Roosty was the one to stop it.
I think that's kind of funny. Now, Rooster, you're not gonna do that again, right? You're gonna be a good bird? A good bird with this little dingly thing on your neck?
Just blew out.
No, stop, please, please. Please, Roosty, please. No, if I keep him safe, we'll wrap him up. We'll wrap him up in the towel.
No, it's so fucking funny. Please let him do it again.
I'll keep him wrapped up in the towel and I'll calm him down. Please, Roosty, please. Consider your life. Consider your friends, your family. Your fucking family.
Actual fucking shitstorm.
Okay, I think he's calmed down. Okay, so anyway, about Sandbox, I have a lot of mixed feelings on it in general. See, if I put the blanket over him, he'll fall asleep. Wait, no, don't do it. Don't.
Do it, Roosty,
he's
do it.
He's looking at himself on the stream. He's looking at himself right now on the camera. He's staring right at the fucking camera. Look at that shit. I think he's gonna...
I fucking love this bird.
I think he's gonna do it at least one more time. I think I feel like he's prepping. It's like, yeah, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. Well, do it then. Cockadoodle.
I'm glad my laughs entertain you, Rotas.
Okay, I think he's calm for now.
Soon, when you
You'll
least
probably
expect it.
cock-a-doodle right as I start answering the question. So what I was gonna say was my thoughts on Sandbox themselves are pretty mixed. I think Gary Newman's a pretty good programmer, but I think the direction of Sandbox itself has been very questionable. It was originally being developed on Unreal Engine for like at least 3 or 4 years, and then as soon as the Source 2 development tools were available to them, and exclusively to them, let me mention that, like the Source 2 dev tools are still completely unavailable to literally everybody. The only reason Gary got their hands on them is because, you know, he made Gary's mod, so he just has preferential treatment by Valve, and they handed him the dev tools, and even then he said like it took like at least like over a year to sort through all the garbage and terabytes of old dead code because, well, you know, if you want to know more about Source 2, you can listen to my other rants I've done on other streams. But basically, it's just an unfinished engine that's only been piecemeal, like, fixed to work in specific games. Like, you can't actually use it to make, like, any game except for specifically what's been made for. Like, think of it like that. Like, for Half-Life Alyx, it was made, like, only parts of the engine that specifically facilitate its function were worked on and nothing else was. If that makes any sense. And the documentation's basically non-existent outside of Valve. In regards to it replacing the dev tools, I mean, I think it could definitely help. You know, I've already seen some people trying to do, like, TF2 ports and other shit like that.
That got taken down, actually.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, really? Valve took down a fucking fan project? That's impressive.
Yeah, like
desist, I believe.
Yeah, the TF2 Source 2 port through Sandbox got taken down by Valve.
Like, wow. I mean, Valve is usually really shitty when it comes to consumer rights, but they usually are pretty hands-off when it comes to community content. But you're saying they actually ceased and desisted a fucking project to move TF2 to Source 2?
Yeah, I mean, like, honestly, like, out of Valve as a company... He was
about to cock-a-doodle, and I stopped him.
Oh.
It's okay, shh. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
Don't stop him next time, it's funny.
It's like, see, then he falls
asleep. Out of Valve, the only 2 people I respect now are, like, Gabe Newell and the one guy who's keeping TF2 alive at the moment.
Damn it.
Okay, I'm sorry. I won't mention TF2 next time.
What
Fuck.
I was gonna mention was, I think the tools in Sandbox could definitely be used for some fun experiences, but it's absolutely not going to be able to make up for the objective lack of using the engine itself to make stuff. I mean, if you go to the Wikipedia page for Source 2 right now, the only thing that isn't made by Valve in Source 2 is Sandbox. And literally nothing else, because again, the engine's still not out. Apparently the engine was ready to go in 2015, and, you know, it's been like almost a decade since then, it's still not out. And I think that also goes to show that even if the engine was released, it would only be attractive to people who are nostalgic or generally familiar with Source architecture, because otherwise there's nothing Source 2 really does that isn't available on another engine that already can do it better. Like, Source 2 would have been absolutely revolutionary if it came out back in 2015 like it was supposed to, but now it's like a 10-year-old engine that we're getting teeny little bits and pieces of. And a lot of people, you know, they drum up a lot of popularity for it because we've had literally nothing of Source 2 in like a decade. So it's like, oh wow, Source 2 could have like a shader in a bottle, makes it look like it's full of liquid. Games have been able to do that for like 10 fucking years. Like that, the actual engine capability of that function it was possible even around the time of Half-Life 2. It just came down to like performance. It's not like Source 2 specifically is like magically able to do this fucking water physics shit. Or, oh wow, marginally better lighting. Man, I'm really impressed. No, Roosty, please, please. What's so fucking funny?
I'm just picturing, like, somebody who's not watched any of the previous live streams. Like, they're just looking at this, they're like, oh boy, Jsoull stream, I'm gonna go on to it. They go on and they just see a fucking guy holding a rooster, like, with the mic occasionally being blown out by it, ranting about Source 2.
Well, people like him, so, you know.
Also, just like... the mic, like, it is infinitely funnier this time around because it sounds like the way it sounds when he fucking like ass into the mic is like it's like this actually
Stop it, Roosty, please.
It is an actual like fucking shitstorm.
No, Roosty shall now be a calm bird. Roosty, shh, Roosty.
Dude, so someone in the chat, please, like, give me a clip of at least one of the times Roosty's done that. I need it. Like, if you don't, it's fine. I'll do it myself, but it saves me work.
Calm down, Roosty. Now, Roosty shall disappear forever. He'll never be seen again. Actually, he's okay. No, but I hope that answers the Source 2 question. I do think that Sandbox has the tools where people can at least play around with some of it. But I think it's still kind of insulting that Valve has not released the tools for the fan base that's been waiting to use them for like 10 years. Especially since Valve releasing the Source SDK is what facilitated the Half-Life community even surviving until Alex came out. And, well, Alex itself didn't really do as much as it should have because only 2% of Steam users could even fucking play the thing. Which I'm never going to forgive them for. Like, yeah, great, you wait 12 years for another Half-Life game and 2% of people on Steam can play it. That's really nice, isn't it? Like, imagine if Helldivers 2 came out, Dark, but it was only exclusive to, like, the PlayStation Vita or some shit.
I wasn't even expecting a Helldivers 2.
Oh, yeah, but imagine, oh my god, it's coming out, it's gonna be the best game ever, and you can't play it. Like, it's that kind of feeling, it's just kind of dumb. No, Roosty, can I let you go for half a second?
I'm waiting for it.
Be calm. Be calm. I'm just gonna adjust the webcam so I can get a better view of you. See, it's all okay. It's all okay. You're gonna be okay. But
I'm anticipating
good.
it now. Fuck.
Listen, like I think Source 2, if it came out back when it was planned in 2015. It would have been revolutionary. It would have revitalized the entire Source community. We would have gotten some of the best, most awesome Source mods ever. But as it is, it's like think about it right now with how popular Half-Life is. And keep in mind, Half-Life Alyx came out like 2 years ago now, right? Was it 2 years ago or 3?
Might have been 3 at this point.
Quick?
Half-Life Alyx. Let's see.
It came out in 2020, and then.
So yeah, like 3 years, minimum 3 years.
23rd.
3 years. So it came out 3 years ago, and we still don't have like a Half-Life 2 Source 2 like mod still.
In 7 days, it will be
So
4 years ago.
Jesus, 4 years old.
Oh, okay, pretty
so
much
yeah,
4 years then.
So it's been 4 years since Half-Life Alyx came out, and we still don't have any like Half-Life 2 Source 2 conversions, and we still don't have any actual full conversions of any other Source games except for CSGO, and that has its own controversies where they just gutted all the content. It's like, okay, so you lose all these oh, I thought he was going to do it, but he didn't. So you lose all your customization, you lose like all your maps, you lose all your game modes, and you get some smoke physics and slightly better lighting. Stop! You get
And water.
some water physics, smoke physics, and better lighting. And it's like, I don't see that as a fair trade. It's like, okay, so you get some extra eye candy with negligible effects on gameplay, and you lose like 3/4. Uh-huh. Okay, Zap, you're fucking drunk. Go home.
I'm not drunk.
It's not
funny,
fucking
you
funny. It's not
bastard.
fucking funny.
It's hilarious,
Okay.
you old coon.
Okay, Dark
Shit.
Signal, I have a question for you. You were a hardcore
Uh-oh.
Source modder back in the day with SDK, right? Yes.
Yes,
Now,
I
would you
was.
say, if Source 2 came out as it was intended to in 2015, would that have revitalized your interest in working on Source content?
Quite frankly, I don't think it would, because I wasn't really the kind of person who liked changing workspaces back in the
But would
day.
you say at least...
I wouldn't have even expected them to have physics objects that could go over the limit velocity. Like,
Stop it! I'm gonna strangle him. I'm choking...
Stop interrupting.
Roosty, you fucking bastard.
You old coot, it's fucking
Not
hilarious.
Funny. It's not funny. This Rooster's gonna be the end of me, I swear to God. Fucking Roosters, I hate them. I can't tell you how much I hate Roosters. Anyways.
I'm pretty sure the only thing that would have convinced me by Source 2 is if it were more easier to make things go faster. Because physics objects never went fast. They always felt like they were floating like feathers.
Yeah, this guy's feathers gonna be floating because he's freaking out right now. I don't know why. Calm down. Calm down. Calm down. No, stop it.
And see, he had.
Yeah, Rooster's
opinions.
freaking out. Oh, stop
Also,
it.
real quick, happy day. Happy
I
days.
think he needs to go blow off some steam.
I did try to call him a pooch, but I slurred my words a bit. I apologize.
Don't knock over my coffee. What do you think you're doing, asshole? No, hey, that's expensive. Don't shit. Don't shit. That's where I keep my passwords. Don't do it. I gotta move these. Oh my. Wow, okay.
Okay, I think Roosty's had enough.
He just laid a fat one on my desk.
He did?
Yep.
Not an egg.
What do you have to say for yourself, buddy?
Don't worry, we'll see it on
What are you
stream.
gonna say for Oh,
I
my
just
kid,
looked
that's
at-
it. That's it. That's it. That's it. I've had enough. No more. No more chickens. No more. Get back to you, son of a bitch. Let me see this motherfucker. I'm gonna snap his neck. I'll snap this rooster's neck. Hey. No, stop it. Alex is causing trouble because he's a bastard. What do you have to say for yourself? Buck, buck. Buck, 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 buck. He's gonna go back with his fucking friends because he just shat on my desk. No, stop it! No, stop freaking out. You're okay. You're just a bird. You're just a bird. You're just a bird. Calm down. In case you want to see how big this guy is, he's pretty fucking big. Full-size Roosty. Explain yourself. Of course not. Okay, I gotta go put him back with his friends because he decided to shit on my fucking stream. And that means this is the last time you're gonna see this fucking bird because I'm gonna snap his neck. Actually, I could never do that. I love him too much. I'm gonna put him back with his friends. I'll see you guys in a bit. I'll be back.
Alright, also, somebody's saying they tweeted a clip.
Let me turn off the shit cam real quick. I'll be right back. Clickety click. There we go. Okay. Be right
This
back.
concludes the Roosty broadcast.
Fucking birds.
Coincidentally, it also concludes the Valve rant for this stream.
I came dangerously close to accidentally saying slur before when I called Jsoull an old coot. like afterwards I was like, wait a minute, my anxiety fucking spiked. Also, Hart, just at me on Twitter with it. It's fine. Like, I'll see it. Ugh. I love that bird so much.
You can still hear the screams. Okay, that was our moment of silence for Roosty. Let's continue forward with the questions.
Are there any more questions?
Yes. I've got two questions here for me, one by Sikrith and one by Ralthaz. How's progress on Sin and Madness, and how's progress on Nim? Well, one question answers the other here. I'm not really working on Not Enough Madness right now because I'm too busy working on the workshop.
I hate birds more than I can even describe. It shat on my fucking desk again. Never trust animals. They only want food and to shit. All they do is shit. Okay, one sec.
So in any case, I've been working on the workshop because I fully intend for the workshop to take over responsibility of custom content for Not Enough Madness. I am hoping that that mod can fully abandon that responsibility in favor of Workshop, which is why I have been doing everything I can to make sure that it holds a candle up to it, if not a bigger one. As such, what was it?
That bird.
Okay, I'm back.
Currently, the
I'm
first
back.
generation
What'd I miss?
modders are going crazy with all of the. Never
Oh, what
mind.
happened?
I was answering questions that were directed towards
Okay,
me,
well,
and
what was
then
the
you
question?
came back.
Finish the question. I'll keep working on this. I hope everyone enjoyed the Roosty incursion because he's a fucking bastard.
Oh, I'm sure
bet they
everyone did.
Sure.
And Lemon Duck is asking if I am a CIS supporter or a Grand Army of the
CIS.
Republic supporter. CIS all the way.
Droids for life. They got fucked over in the Clone Wars. Droids would objectively win any ground war, period.
Especially the commando
Basically,
droids.
I want to see a fan animation. Like, someone made a fan animation which showed the Empire wiping the floor with the rebels. That one fan animation from like years back. It was called TIE Fighter, I believe.
Okay, well that's the.
I know, but I
Empire,
want to
not
see
the
someone do like something like
CIS.
that, but with the CIS, where they're like, is it, you know those like constant scenes in the Clone Wars show where the Jedi are running into like a literal wall of laser fire and droids, and they just don't get hit magically. Well, I want to see someone do a fan animation where it just shows like all the main characters literally just get turned into Swiss cheese by the lasers, like they should be. That'll make me very happy.
So, wait, so is this
Yes, of course he is.
Thing now? Does that mean it's time for that?
Fine. Okay.
Okay. See, I want to animate them before I get like too tipsy to actually.
I gotta pop out the screen and do a bunch of shit to make this work, though. Bitch ass. I have to make it so it does not show other participants, because I'm gonna maximize the space we have.
So we got a follow-up question from Sickworth. How different is the workshop compared to
I'll
them?
go ahead and answer that because I'm gonna set up Zapjohn's camera real quick.
So for starters, Workshop grants you a lot more freedom. It is a lot more... It fully supports the inclusion of custom models for weapons, armor, characters, character parts, weapon add-ons, and even particle effects. So if you wanted to make some fancy new explosions or special damage over time effects,
There we go.
you can do that.
Zap, we got your
Furthermore-
camera top left.
Furthermore, it now supports custom audio, custom voices, custom music, and that's all done through Fmod. So we can now include our own sound events, both 2D and 3D, which basically means music and sound.
So basically, before you were limited to making art with broken fingers, and now you have a lot more freedom.
It's the difference between only being able to script things versus actually being able to include
And so
things.
it's so much better, am I right?
Yeah. Well, that
So
depends
you're
on
saying
the
some people
artist.
are already doing like big titty grunt mods and shit?
Some people have already reached for the
Oh,
low
that's fucking
hanging fruit.
disgusting. I'm gonna kill them. Nasty, nasty.
Because XDefault recently released a early modding kit for Not Enough Madness, which is basically the old version, and I see it as a way of getting people prepped for making stuff for Workshop. And of course, people just had to go and sink to the bottom of the
You
barrel
make the most
right off the
disgusting,
gate.
vile shit you've ever seen in your fucking life.
You in particular would probably drown your eyes.
That's another
with
reason I'm
bleach.
not on the fucking official Madness server, huh? Oh yeah. So just a quick note for this chat. You guys can put in ideas for Zapchon to animate, and he'll pick them out from the crowd, and he'll be animating in the top right while I'm working on sprites.
Yep.
So, next question, Cheese. I see there's a bunch I missed.
I'm
you
actually
gotta
gonna go.
Cheese?
Oh.
That's okay, Cheese.
Yeah,
I'm
I
glad you
did.
joined us because you're always a pleasure to have on board. I wish you the best possible day.
Thanks.
Have a good day, my friend.
Goodbye.
Also, I got an idea in the chat that I kind of like, and that's using the whiplash tool from Ultra Kill. I could do that. That sounds pretty
Oh yeah,
fun.
since Cheese is gone, Zap, I'm gonna give you Cheese's beer.
Oh, Oh, I mean, I've already had cider.
Go to hell,
so I'm good,
asshole.
but thank you. No.
Ugh. Anyways.
Okay.
Another question from Lemon Duck following up. Will there be custom campaigns and custom maps in the future? Well, I have some big news about this, and I didn't think I was going to get the news this quick. But Xdefault has been making some serious progress where we might actually have a feasible tool to make those now. He has been sharing a lot of videos showcasing how possible it is to make a completely custom scene within Unity. And as of a few days ago, he has provided me the Unity project with which to do this. So now I can dive into that myself. And I'm willing to bet now that Jsoull has heard that, he's probably lighting up and wants to jump in on it too.
Me and Dark already did a whole project document on the mod and expansion it would make for Project Nexus once these tools were available, and 3 years later, they're available. So, yeah, kind of cool.
Well, 3 years is better than 4 years.
And 4 years is better than never, but yeah, we already had reclamation fully planned out, like enemies and maps and all that. So, yeah, I guess when we get the time, we can basically work on that now. I already know there's going to be a bunch of, like, big titty bullshit. People are going to probably make, probably whole campaigns based off of other Madness cartoons, I'd imagine. Definitely School Madness, I know that's coming. That's just inevitable. We all know School Madness is something not particularly kosher, but people are going to do it anyways because they're weirdos. So, what are you going to do? That's pretty cool, though. But, Dark, if you go, you see Cheese actually typed in, like, all the questions he took from the chat. Can you just go all the way up to the ones that don't have a check mark, and then start asking those? Thank you very much.
Yes, I know. I've been
Zero
following
division
along.
errors first. While we're doing that.
If someone were to take your chickens, what would happen to the person that took them?
You don't even want to fucking know what I would do. I would take them, skin them, and then throw them into the fucking coop and have the chickens peck their fucking eyes out.
Did you see the dog.fla remake?
I have no idea what the
Torwaf?
hell that even is.
That's a Denis Villeneuve
Ew.
cartoon. Wow.
Isn't
Sorry,
that the
Denis
guy
Villeneuve,
that
if
did
you're
like the
watching this.
weird fucking like Pokemon animation from like a couple Madness days ago? Like I remember it was like that moth Pokemon walked in wearing like body armor and some like Golem wearing a red suit and like a bunch of shit like that. I might just be senile. You could just be honest, but that's what I remember from this guy.
I think you might be senile because I don't
just-
remember that. But I know I'm gonna be
You're just
eating my
crazy.
words.
Okay. Next question.
Next we got from who is it? Moyani. If you were hold hostage and you had the choice of finishing Max 2 in the oldest, most shittiest version of Flash possible, or just quitting the project, what would you choose?
It depends how much that would compromise me being able to do the scenes I need to do. Because Flash 8 is not capable of handling the sprites and some of the specific techniques I use for Max 2. And if it made it impossible for me to do what is necessary to do my scenes, then I would choose to just I guess quit and then make a spiritual successor that's functionally the same, but in a different program that actually allows me to do what I need to do to make the movie uncompromised. I'll say that. I feel like that's somewhat reasonable. Next.
Next we got a question from Kyle Kev for everyone. What motivates everyone to keep working on Max 2 even in these trying times?
I finished my work.
I guess that's a basic way of putting it. I'm motivated on two fronts. First, the fact that I just like having Max 2 as a big creative outlet. I find it just fun to work on. It can be very frustrating, but it's also very fulfilling when everything comes together exactly the way that I like. In regards to second motivator, it's more because people have been waiting for this fucking movie forever, and it would be an insane slap in the face. I'm just like, nah, I just don't feel like working anymore. Bye. That'd be just kind of ridiculous. I owe it to everyone who's been so patient and been sticking with me for so long to give them the best movie possible. And I plan to give him the best movie possible, but that doesn't mean it's not going to take some time. How's that for an answer?
A question from Graph. Have any of you guys played Cataclysm Dark Days
A
Ahead?
friend in high school tried to get me into it, and I didn't, at the time, I was more like an Arma 3 guy. I didn't really bite. But then I gave it a try later, and I kind of liked it. But I ended up liking Caves of Quid a lot more. In terms of like those crazy like super simulator games. Caves of Quid was more up my alley. Next!
Tricky Man 92 asks, what animation source do you use?
What the hell's that supposed to mean? You mean like software? I'm currently using Animate fucking
Creative Cloud.
CC 2018. Which is like the worst version, by the way. Don't use it. CC 2018 is
Lemon Duck asks, what would be your personal kill in the movie?
my personal favorite.
Personal kill.
I'm not sure what that's supposed to mean.
What kills the most personal?
Probably Sethik when he gets turned into a hot dog.
Didn't you animate that before any of that shit happened?
Let's keep in mind this is did
You
I?
did. I remember. Yeah.
Well, I guess posthumously it became that. There's also one other kill for two more kills from 2 other community members who are a bit personal, I guess. And I'll make sure they're both fun to watch and they're not just like spiteful outright. They'll be fun. But they're the people who really deserve getting shat on, I'll just say that. Like literally just shit smothered all over them.
Zero Division is asking, are all the OCs prisoners of the Nexus and the Megaplex? Is it like a full Helios type situation?
It's the opposite. OCs and Max 2 are basically granted celebrity status in trade for their compliance. So basically if they just don't stay in the Nexus Core's way and they act when called upon, they're given like a premium civilian status. So they get to show up to clubs, they get free drinks, that sort of thing. They live a prissy kind of lifestyle. Imagine it like a bit like The Boys and MHA, where OCs are just given like this kind of like elevated status above.
Also, people are saying that your microphone is coming in quieter.
I swear to God I didn't change anything. I'll turn it up some more, I guess. Now it's maxed out. Hope you like that. Anyways, what I was gonna say was OCs are given an elevated status within the Nexus Core's jurisdiction, and that's just for their compliance. Like as long as they don't shoot up the place and do their killing sprees, they're just given elevated status, and that allows them to have more power over normal people. How's that for an answer? So the Nexus Core and OCs and Max 2 are not, they don't have like a prisoner relationship. They're just like, I would say the OCs that have the most combat capabilities are probably written into some kind of conscription contract where like if the Nexus Core requires them to, they have to jump into action. But outside of that, it's pretty much the same. I did consider having Helios make a cameo in the movie, but I'm not sure where I'd put it. And given how much other shit happened in regards to Helios since I came up with that idea, I'm not very motivated to include it.
Maker asks, Jsoull, what do you think about Interactive Reloaded?
I mean,
by
it looks
Jsoull?
pretty rad. It basically looks like what I was expecting out of an original Project Nexus 2 project, for lack of better terms. Like, it's what I would have expected Project Nexus to be back when it was being worked on. Like a spiritual successor. And, I guess 10 years late's better than never. I don't know how many years ago Interactive came out. I just know it was a really long time. But it looks really rad, and I think it's something that a lot of people are going to have fun with. I see a lot of good modding potential for people doing, cartoons like, Little Lucky Link, zombie survival experiences and all that. I think it'll be pretty good. I think the project is pretty rad, and I've been following it. I'm very happy with where it's going.
Brim Tall Guy asks, where does Ammo get the budget and money to make all of this crazy-ass tech?
I will say that they have access to resources which some may consider to be unnatural. They tap into some places deep down below to get the shit they need done. That even Nexus Core does not have access to. Consider that. They've also had a lot of time to figure out some of the technical shortcomings of the AHW themselves. A lot of homebrew, let's say. A lot of fun tweaking with reality to get what they want.
They know how easy it is to hack your 3DS.
And
I need
stop
more cider.
drinking.
No.
Well, you got me there.
Anuva's asking Zapchan if he likes making friends.
I do.
It's a funny question to ask somebody.
Though I am also very satisfied with the current friend group I have.
Necromancer says he just got back from military service. Oh yeah, he's all fighting the cartel. Pretty fun, pretty crazy, right? Pretty nuts.
Guts on the mic is asking, besides Crackpot, what other OCs won't be showing up in the movie?
We
and
actually
can we
did a
see them?
design for Crackpot that I really liked, but I'm not sure where the fuck I'd put him. And originally there was going to be a scene where Crackpot was going to show up in the throne as like Phobos's kind of like a religious organizer, but I decided that that would kind of just slow down the pace, and while it's cool for him to show up, it was nowhere even near necessary, and I couldn't think of enough cool choreography to justify his presence versus just getting to the really cool parts. As for other characters, I mean, To Be Damned doesn't show up. No one else from Project Nexus 2 shows up outside of Phobos. The original Madness crew does show up. Like, you get to see Sanford and Deimos and Hank, but in different...
Stuffed and mounted, I'm guessing.
Yeah, you see them in the museum like that. I'm pretty sure they're not the same bodies stuffed. I think Ammo would have made sure there's nothing to even recover. But I will say, To Be Damned is not showing up because Ammo dealt with him a long time ago. He was too much of a troublemaker to leave alive. He was in his little building thinking, tee hee hee.
They're gonna try to come through the door, and I'm gonna plant a little bomb there, and then I'm gonna be invincible. And then his head and his brain disappeared.
And then a bunch of Ammo operatives walk through the walls and start chopping him up with knives. Would have been shit like that. To Be Damned was too much of a threat to leave alive.
It was too. He knew too
His
much.
ability to pull characters back from the other place was something that could not be tolerated. Ammo's whole thing is like killing OCs and keeping them dead. Cause
Listen here, hacker. Your interest will be terminated.
oh yes, To Be Damned's like tee hee hee. I'm just gonna bring back Hank again, and then To Be Damned disappears, and the last thing anyone finds out is that he's been sprinkled around as body parts around Nevada. Pretty good stuff. I would say the lack of Project Nexus 2 characters in the movie would be born from me not really knowing how they would fit within the context of Maxification 2's narrative. Because Max 2 takes place like pretty long after MC10. Like really long, after like 100 years after MC10 happens. So it'd be hard to find a place where they'd even be alive in the first place. That's why the first appearance of the OG characters is actually in the museum. Because they're ancient history. Relevance long gone.
Lemon Duck is asking, who is more powerful, Auditor or Phobos?
Depends which state they're in. I would say...
Ohio. You asked which state they're in?
You think you're funny, huh? Piece
Very.
of shit. Anyways. It depends. Are we talking about like base power level Auditor? Or are we talking like when he gets the Halo? Or are we talking about how strong he gets in Max 2? Because those are three very different things. I would say if we're talking about like when they're both at their peak, Auditor is definitely stronger because he's an employer outright. And he could just make Phobos sink into the other place and then put him into a hell of razor blades for eternity. At least that's what I would do if I was him. Phobos is definitely a good sword fighter and has some dissonance magic shit that I think he does in the Project Nexus 2's final boss fight. Don't crucify me, but I still haven't played PN2, so I don't know exactly what happens, but I do know he's a boss fight and he pulls some magic shit, right, Dark Signal?
I remember when I tried explaining the ending of story mode to you, you were just shriveling up like a damn towel.
I think it's because I found some of what happened to be a bit peculiar. I'm not sure how to put it. I felt like well,
it's also because you weren't experiencing it for yourself. I think that also had an issue.
I think it's because it felt kind of awkward because like characters die, but then they just immediately mention how they're not actually dead, and it felt like it kind of wasn't as conclusive as it should have been. And then that weird scene with the employers was especially odd. Do you know what I'm talking about, Dark?
If you're talking about the
stinger when it turns out Jesus isn't dead, which I thought was kind of a mistake, because now it's like, okay, no, basically no one died except Phobos, who was already dead, which I think is a bit peculiar.
I mean, Hank
died. Yeah, but he dies all the time. That's not really a big deal.
Well, neither would it be for Kristoff.
I guess the lack of like permanence makes it feel like it's less grandiose, and especially how the employers just kind of nonchalantly show up and say, tee hee hee, now we're going to do the next part of our plan and not tell you any details, and then leave, makes it feel like the stinger lacked the narrative punch it would have had otherwise if we actually knew what the hell they wanted or what they're doing. I'm not sure if the groundwork for that is even narratively laid out, or if it's even decipherable what they would even want out of Kristoff that they couldn't just do themselves. I don't know. I feel like generally the employers have been underused in Project Nexus, especially given the fact they're supposed to be the guys running the show and they don't really do too much, except showing up in the stinger in the end. Did Crinkles actually end up adding the scene with Auditor in the campaign, Dark? I thought you mentioned like he was supposed to show up somewhere. Wasn't there supposed to be an added scene in Project Nexus 2 where the Auditor was going to show up?
No, but
like in the middle of the campaign. Like I thought there's supposed to be a part where he shows up mid-campaign, like after the HW's hunting Hank or something.
I
think that's a pretty big missed opportunity. I mean, the employers don't show up. So you're saying the employers straight up don't show up for like literally the entire game until that stinger, right? I don't think that's a very good narrative decision, and we can agree or disagree on that. I think that given,
I mean, the employers are meant to be working in the background, so that kind of fits their
but
character.
then when there's the point where you know so little when they're supposed to be significant, to the point where it kind of detracts from their presence. Like, I feel like if they were as significant as they would be, they would have more of a showing in the campaign, let's say, or more of demonstrations of their power, but they don't really do anything the entire time. And they show up at the end, act all spooky, like, tee hee hee, we got more plans, and they just disappear again. I felt like if they had...
I guess they're saving that for the deep lore.
Is there even enough lore to work off of to figure out what the hell's going on, Dark? I mean, you're the most deep lore person there is. And even, can you even decipher what they could possibly be talking about?
As far as their sequel hook goes, that depends entirely on where story mode is placed.
We don't even know what story mode is.
But then that gets into a whole topic that you don't want to dig
So, like, you're saying,
into.
even as your super lore nerd status, that you don't even know still where the campaign even takes place? Like,
where the campaign takes place? I already have a good theory where it takes place.
And is that the part that I didn't like because it didn't really make any sense?
Well, the part that you don't like is the idea that they're still trying to merge the two continuities together.
And where does it take place from what you're aware of right now?
I believe the best fit for it is sometime after MC4 and before MC5.
Yeah, that's kind of rough to me. I mean, the main issue is like what I've brought up before is just like, you know, if that was the case, then there's a lot of elements that would be present that aren't present. Like, we would be seeing the AHW at full force. You'd be seeing ETPs as early as like -3 and 4, but you don't really see any of that.
Maybe not MC4. I said after MC4.
Well, I mean, okay, well, there would have been ATPs all over the place in 5, and soldats, and full-size mag agents. I'm not going to get into that discussion again, but I felt like it was just kind of weird. I feel like they should just
I mean, I've already gave you my reasons why we haven't seen Mag Agents back then.
I think it's my main issue is because like Mag Agent Torture is treated as the prototype because he's.
Well, yeah, I still think he is a prototype that was developed explicitly by
but
the
I think
AHW.
like if that was the case, why would they be deploying a single prototype against Hank instead of like more Mag Agents, especially when they're at the.
They never deployed Torture against Hank. Hank just kind of found
Damn
him.
you, Torture! Damn you.
Hank just kind of ended up in a place he wasn't supposed to be, and then he just kind of went
Damn you,
behind
Hank.
curtains.
Yeah, HW is deploying Freddy
Fucking
Fazbear. Look
disgusting
out.
shit. Madness Combat, more like it.
Dude, the fucking speeds on this animation are so fucked, but it's about as good as I can
Why?
do
Because
at
you're
the
drunk and
moment.
you're animating this fucking piece of shit?
Yeah, and I'm also like I'm on a live stream, so I'm very self-conscious about making mistakes.
Well, maybe you shouldn't be drunk.
I can always be more
That's
drunk.
not a good way to handle your life decisions, Zapchop.
Alcohol poisoning, schmalcohol
Jesus
schmoisoning.
Christ. Nasty, nasty, nasty.
Just kidding, it's actually not that high a percentage.
Continuing forward, Nexus Zero asks, are there any other new tab units that'll show up in the film besides the soldiers?
Oh
and
no, there'll be
officers?
some other new tab units. I'm going to be working with. Well, I'm going to be
Fine
working with
experiments.
Cheese, and new tab's going to have more of a presence in commercial sector than they previously were going to, because I think they're just kind of cool. And I think I could find a way to make them neatly fit within my plans without them being obtrusively included, I will say. You'll definitely see more new tab units in the commercial sector for sure, because they're just kind of like a cool faction. And Cheese did a very good job. They got nice designs that fit in really well with the aesthetic. And Cheese is willing to help amend some designs so they work better in the movie. And so I'll include them because more the merrier. They won't have like an outright super presence. Like they're not going to be like having full scenes where you see them slap Hank's ass with a fucking cricket bat. But they will be doing some cool stuff, and you'll definitely see some cameos, and they'll have a presence, because they do exist within the Maxification 2 universe.
Sikrith is wondering, how did Ammo prevent Tricky from resurrecting?
I actually planned out a movie where they were going to fight... Dark, I'm not sure if you remember, but I remember I was bouncing some ideas off you for how I'd handled it. And then evolved some of those big guys that are a little bit clandestine at the moment. But I did have a movie planned out. I was going to use a track from King Stephen's Horrors of the Night album. It's going to be like a little music video where it shows like how Ammo dealt with Tricky. I think it involved simultaneously destroying his body in Nevada and destroying his soul in the other place to make sure he couldn't retreat to either. At least I think that's how it went.
Yeah, well, Tricky just keeps getting regurgitated by the other place because he can't digest them. Spitting him out.
I mean,
like a
I think
rock.
it's the difference between getting spat out versus not even being digested in the first place because he's just not even there. You either found a way to trap and destroy the soul or just stop it from being able to cycle between the other place and base reality, and then he just kind of permanently died.
Put it in some kind of boring limbo.
Boring limbo. I mean, keep in mind though, we are working off of like MC10, like, you know, classic Madness rules where other place wasn't as defined. I am using the other place because narratively and thematically I can do a lot with it, but I'm not going to let it be too much of a limiting factor in terms of the cool shit I want to do, if that makes any sense to you. I want to do cool stuff, and the other place is a cool place to have cool things happen, but I'm not going to let that limit what I can show in the movie. I think I'm almost done this fucking gun, finally. Just a few more.
Maker is asking, if you had a chance to change any one thing Madness related, what would
Like,
that be?
are we talking, you gotta specify community-wise, or just like in like lore shit, or just how the series works?
I would assume like the series and lore.
I mean, I guess keeping PN2 and the base animated series separate, because then no, I mean, it depends on a lot of things. Like, I'm actually okay with them being in the same universe if there was more interplay between the two. Like, if we started seeing Project Nexus 2 units in the animated series, I'm like, yeah, sure, go ahead. But like, I haven't been seeing any of the exotic, weird dissonance monsters and shit in the animations yet, and I feel like that's obviously a bit of a missed opportunity. I mean, we still don't even have golems. We have the retainers, which are kind of like half mags, but the AHW still hasn't deployed any half mags outright, or any other mag agents, or we haven't seen any dissonance creatures, or anything from Nexus, or anything from Merc, or any bandits. And I feel like there's so many opportunities to include these weird, wacky monsters and ideas and characters, but they just don't show up. And that's part of my hesitance to have the cartoon series and the games connected, because like, I'm okay with that on paper if there's more interplay and it fits together. But like, if MC12 includes some crazy dissonance monster combat, hey, totally cool, that'd be awesome. I don't really give a shit about Old Madness lore if it means the new stuff's cool. But Dark Signal, I think you could at least agree with me that there's been a lack of implementation of Project Nexus 2 material in the animated series. We can at least agree on that.
I've been slowly seeing some of it creep into the latest
Like, what,
animations.
9.5?
Yeah, and before that with the experiment.
Guess, but I haven't noticed anything in the experiment or 9.5 that was really from Project Nexus.
They definitely started trying to tie it together, but not in a way
I would
that's
say
obvious.
just like, if you're gonna tie them together, I thought it's because you just want to use the units from both. Like Crinkles was like, oh, I want to use the dissonance monsters, but I don't want to come up with a lore excuse. So hey, I just combine the universes. And hey, totally, go ahead and do that if that means we get the cool shit. But my issue is we're not getting the cool shit. Like, where the fuck are all the dissonance monsters in MC12? Where's all the weird other place demons and shit? Where's the fucking laser guns that Nexus Core has? Where's the mercs showing up in like a fucking scrap metal tank? You know, I want to get.
Maybe it's because Crinkles doesn't want to
I feel
sprite
like
all
then
that.
that's kind of acting in the face of one of the main reasons why you would combine the universes together. My way of seeing it is you'd combine the universes because you want to use assets from both. Like, you want to use the best of both worlds. But I feel like if you're outright avoiding that because it's just hard, then that kind of defeats the point of even combining them, because then you're introducing issues and like incongruities in the lore, and the trade-off is almost non-existent, because then you're not even using the elements which you'd gain from those sacrifices, if that makes any sense. It's like we're making the sacrifice of lore continuity by having these universes be connected, but then we're not using the strength of them being connected in exchange for that. Like, okay, the lore doesn't make any sense, but now we get way cooler combat and some crazy monsters and all the different mag agents and factions show up, and sure, totally cool, but we're not getting any of that. That's my problem.
Well, I could figure why the Nexus themselves.
Oh yeah,
don't
I
show
get
up,
Nexus Core, but there should still be some
everybody else.
scraps of them around. I could see some bandits having like salvaged laser guns, and you know, them having some outpost in the other place or some other shit like that. But
Bandits and Merc are much more widespread than
Yeah,
Nexus are, so they're the ones who.
yeah, we still haven't seen
limelight.
any mercs or bandits, which I feel like is definitely a massive missed opportunity. I mean, maybe MC12 will have it. I mean, I'm gonna have a hot take here. I love Crinkles. I'm gonna kiss him on the lips, but like, we've been.
That's the whole.
Mwah! Anyways, but my issue is more like we've been kind of stuck in the other place animation-wise for a really long time. Like, you know, waiting years and years for MC11, and years and years for 9.5, and now years for MC12. And it's like we've been in the other place for so long where I feel like it's starting to kind of lose its luster, and I kind of want movies that are back in Nevada so we can introduce more units and factions and shit.
So we can see more of what's
Yeah, because I
actually
feel like
going
the other
on
place
in
was
it.
fun to dip into for MC11, but like, I know it also wasn't the intention for it to take this long, but a consequence of how long it's been to get the movies out is that we've been basically stuck in the other place for like 5 years now. And for me, it's starting to lose its luster. Like, I'm just kind of getting sick of like the other place as a setting, and I feel like Nevada has many more opportunities to reintroduce stuff from Project Nexus 2 or new ideas outright. And I feel like us being stuck in the other place is kind of limiting our options for what we can see. Even though it should be the craziest, it's kind of like, you know, we're just seeing all the characters in floating island backgrounds fighting agents. It's like, okay, well, can we go back to Nevada and have like Merc show up salvaging some HW shit? Can we have like some Nexus Core remnants?
Well, that's why I fell in love with Project Nexus in the first place, because we got to see more of a world beyond this asshole just murdering.
Yeah, and if we can get
jerks
that in the cartoons, I'm totally up for that. What's your opinion on that, Zap? Tell me now.
I like madness.
Well, everyone keeps saying that the episodes are where this all should be going, but I don't see it that way, because Madness has been branching in between episodes and the game with Project Nexus. So they're kind of branching out their mediums and trying to tell the same story on both
I'm okay
fronts.
with that.
I don't think the episode should be the end all be all answer.
No, I don't think they are either.
things.
But I'm just saying, like, if we're combining the universes, we should see more of the universes. That's just my take. I do agree with you. Like, since they're trying to branch Madness, into a franchise, basically, that's obviously means like the cartoons themselves are not the de facto means of giving out lore information, right? Because Madness is functionally being made into a franchise, the animations themselves are not the de facto method of having lore information. Yes,
Nor should
but
they
like
be.
if they are the thing that attracts the most attention, then they attract the attention of most people. I mean, that's what most people look forward to. I mean, a lot of people like the game, but the animations themselves are still very significant. And so
they are. But I don't want to go and say that either one has more significance.
But we can agree
over the other.
that it would benefit from more interplay.
They're trying to do that. They're just not doing that in a way that's obvious, and I think they need.
What do you
to
mean
stop
by not
holding back.
obvious? I mean, besides like To Be Damned being in the game and the animations, I have not noticed anything else that's shared.
I can see in a lot of Kringles' recent works that some elements that were developed during Project Nexus's development are leaking in, like some of the hidden lore information and even some of the things that happened in 9.5 Part 2, which Swain keeps teasing for people to look into, but nobody has the dots.
So what they're basically saying to like connect dots for something that doesn't exist. And Zap, did you stop fucking streaming?
No, it crashed and I'm trying to restart it to see if it can fucking work.
But wait, Crinkles.
Like apparently it's been gone for like 5,
Fix
10
it,
minutes
bitch.
apparently. I mean, I don't know.
Well, just
it's your
restream
stream,
it and
bro.
I'll reshare it.
I
Show
did.
all participants. There we go. Okay. And then, okay, it's working again. There we go. You're good. So
right.
Crinkles, no, not Crinkles. Sorry, Dark Signal. You're saying that Swain is telling people that there's dots to connect, but there's no dots to connect. I mean, that's kind of what it sounds like you're giving me. Like he's saying, "Hey guys, connect the lore that doesn't exist yet."
It's more like connect the lore that we have.
Well, yeah, it doesn't exist then. I mean, like if there's literally, well, I mean,
no,
well,
that's no.
Well, no,
that doesn't
what
mean
I mean
it doesn't exist. It simply means
Dark,
they didn't tell you.
Functionally, if the information does not exist to the audience, then it might as well not exist in the series, because if it's not there, then how can it possibly be something we can work with? Like that's like saying, like, oh, I got all this lore in my head for how exactly everything plays out, but I'm not going to show you any of it, but you can definitely figure it out, but then there's not actually enough shit to figure it out, because the stuff that facilitates...
Not enough doesn't mean there's not
even
any.
by your own admittance, you're saying that there is not enough information to connect the dots.
I mean, Jsoull, that's like the... Well, I mean, that's
Well,
where
yeah, but then is
theorizing
there
comes
even
in,
enough
like
to
you-
theorize, Dark, or is it just like blindly shooting into the darkness, trying to figure this shit out?
There are things to theorize if you decide to look into what you're playing. It's like you can play through the game and put some of these things together, but you're probably not going to come to the same conclusion that is already established behind the scenes.
Well, I feel like there's a sweet spot.
I'm saying it's a long shot, but it's not
It's not an empty shot, but you're saying like there is a lot more that should be done so the dots can be connected.
There's a lot more they have to share, and they haven't been able.
Well, I
to
think that's
share it
obviously
yet.
a problem then, especially if people are being pushed to make these connections when there's not enough raw material. It kind of reminds me of what happened when I was trying to figure out what was happening in Axiom Verge 2, and I joined the fucking community server, and it was full of people literally just blindly speculating about random nonsense or just making up lore because there's so little material to work with that they.
It reminds me of the TF2 bucket of dicking
Just-
post. Where it's like, oh my god, guys, when the scout says bucket of chicken, he actually means fucking
Yeah, people are just kind of like blindly speculating on information that may or may not exist because there's such little material to work with. I'm not sure if the situation's that bad, but it's clear that there is more context that should be present that is not, and that's leading to a lot of people not really seeing the lore that should be present.
Well, not a lot of people are paying attention to
Well-
it either, so it's kind of a
Well, then I
lose-lose
think
situation.
one side's going to have to give some slack. Next question.
Let's see. Lemon Duck is asking, what do you think the very start of Nevada was, and why it
Well,
was made like
Max
that?
2 has a very specific backstory
Well-
for Nevada that's a lot different than Project Nexus. So, I mean, maybe this is more of a question that's for Dark. I mean, if Dark will give you
but
like the actual like PN2 and maybe animation lore reason, but Max 2 has its own very specific start for Nevada. It's like a lot different.
yeah, so I'm not sure if that's something I want to share
I would
on
say
this
that's
particular stream.
what I have planned is certainly meant to be saved for the animation itself because it's a big surprise.
Yeah.
I would definitely say that. I will say that it's going to be something so awesome, Lemon Duck, that when you see it, you're going to start having epileptic seizures and vomiting blood and shit.
At first, you're going to be confused, and then you're going to be
Basically, yeah.
terrified.
We're talking some Eldritch shit. It's going to be great.
It's like your brain won't understand what it is you're seeing and hearing at
And then when you
first.
realize it, you die. To me, that's a pretty good deal. You just die. That's the easy part. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Always the best. So Zapchon is now animating a character getting shot in the face. I'm pretty impressed by that.
Uh-huh. After the whiplash thing from Ultra Kill, is how it's looking so far.
I'm impressed at that. I'm gonna put on another album. We'll take on another set of questions. We'll wrap this up probably in another like 20, 25 minutes. We'll see. I'm on a pretty good roll right now with the detailing on this.
Let me tap the
We'll
sign
do
real quick.
Pizza Hotline, and hopefully they won't fucking copyright strike me like a bunch of assholes. There we go. I'm seeing a lot of other questions in the chat, Dark Signal. Would you mind peeling them apart?
Yes, I know. Will any OCs made by artists appear in the film?
Oh, so you mean
By
like
Guts
people
on
who
the
just
Mic.
don't do who do it through animations of those OCs, but just draw them? A couple of them for sure, yeah. Vertigome's OC was going to show up, and then they changed it like 50 times, and I'm not really sure what I'm going to do with them now. There's definitely some that were in that big picture collage of a bunch of Asian animators that just drew sprites but didn't animate them, and I liked some of their designs. That's where we go back to pink guy here. He was from the Asian collection. The green guy I just made myself, but pink guy is from the Asian community photo. I can find that real quick. Maybe some other people here will recognize who they are. Let me go grab it. Pictures. Won't grab in this dark. You can pick another question out.
Sure. What if Merc was absorbed by ammo instead of the
I think that's
Nexus?
extremely unlikely. Ammo wouldn't really see any value in collecting a bunch of greasy fucking greasy mechanic punk dudes. They're very
I mean, they're not exactly cannon fodder.
yeah,
They're
they're
just
just factory workers and like ammo. Like it'd be kind of like if you went to India and you asked them to start building Porsches out of scrap metal for you, instead of just using like the fucking.
That's
Instead of
certainly an
just-
analogy.
Tony Stark built this in a cave. with
With a
nothing.
box of
Yeah,
scraps.
literally, that's what Ammo's doing. Like, they're making ridiculously high-tech shit because they're tapping into the other place and using a bunch of crazy dimensional improbability nonsense to just cheat reality into getting the tech they need. And so them getting mercs to work for them wouldn't really make a lot of sense because they're just a bunch of greasy factory workers. Nexus Core has more of a use for them because it could just be used as a labor force, but Ammo, given the way it's structured, is not really appropriate for having a bunch of greasy factory workers just kind of stinking up the place, shitting in the corner. If that makes sense to you, then you're a reasonable human being. Let's say even like N51 and Nexus Core didn't really know what Ammo was until Max 2 starts happening. N51 knew about them a little bit prior because they're collaborating together, but before their meeting, they were not very aware of their presence. Isn't that right, Dark? They don't like Ammo, but they're getting given such a juicy opportunity that they can't possibly say no.
It's a literal deal with the
They
devil
are.
on this one.
It's like, hey, we can either work with these guys and probably get screwed over, but if like there's such an absolutely mouth-watering proposition that we can't possibly say no because we're never going to get this chance again.
Coworker Gerald is asking if Merc will be making any other appearances other than as meat factory workers.
I was gonna have some like old retired merc captains, maybe sprinkled around the commercial sector. Maybe you see some OCs who are using old scrapped merc gear, like the old Zerker masks and shit. I definitely want to have some like drunken, elderly, retired merc guys drinking themselves to death in the bar. I thought that'd be like a nice kind of accent. I'll say they will show up to some extent as remnants, but as a faction, not really. They've already been fully absorbed by the Nexus Core as just, meat workers. Merc?
Assuming they just haven't been
I'd
phased
say
out
most of the combat
entirely.
personnel were phased out in like the first decade after the absorption. And then after like a couple generations, they've just been, turned into labor.
It's like even in NPN by the time of story mode, well, before Kristoff's treason, around that time, the Nexus were already phasing out merc labor by building those robots.
And so by the time Max 2 happened, which is like a century afterward, they're already, like, Merc's military history is basically non-existent.
L Beans is saying that Cheese messaged him a while ago that you might have put in the his character, the guy in the Fumo clip from Exhumation. Want to know if he has to enter the OC contest mentioned in previous
Exhumation.
streams.
Wait, I think I remember this. I think we might have a sprite somewhere, but I don't remember who exactly it is. I remember Cheese showed me a character from Exhumation that I really liked, and I think he might have done the sprites for him already. Was he orange? I have a vague recollection. Let me check my messages real quick. Clickety-clack, clickety-clack, clickety-clack. Orange guy, orange guy.
Meanwhile, I will answer this question by Brim Toll Guy. Is Madness Artifact the first time N51 knows about ammo? The answer is no, it isn't. It's not even their first meeting either. They have... I don't know how well the intro to Max 2 will establish this, but they have already been corroborating for some time before the operation on the Megaplex went underway. There was a lot of time. There was a lot of time.
Yeah, there's definitely at least
for that.
months of planning prior to that. A lot of CD backdoor deals. A lot of fun stuff. Here's a storyboard scene where I gotta fucking gotta draw the guy on an angle. That's gonna be fucking fun. Fun, fun, fun on a bun. I can't wait to animate the hands. It's gonna be so much fun. No, but Ammo and N51 did know about each other a long time before the operation of the Megaplex. I saw some people were confused and they thought Ammo and N51 would be fighting each other, and that's not true at all. Maybe they got that because they saw the meat sector scene where the hybrid busts down the door with a assassin in front of it. But no, the hybrid didn't know he was there, and they're good friends. There's gonna be a lot of fun moments where they kind of butt heads, though. But there's not gonna be like outright shooting each other, not stuff like that.
Will Steve from Max Ninja
Max
show
Ninja
up?
will appear in the movie. I will say that outright.
Is Steve then Max
Or
Ninja
it's-
himself?
No, Steve was the
He was the guy
antagonist
with
with Fez.
I don't.
Oh.
I don't think he
Wait,
will
so-
show up, but Max Ninja himself will appear.
Could you? All right, this is gonna sound odd, but could you put him on a poster? I want him to be in there.
Why do you
somewhere.
want him so bad?
I don't know. I want a character with a Fez to be in there. Either him or
How
Ross.
did I break your goddamn neck?
What would be the
No.
Max 2 timeline if Ammo was never formed and Hank didn't die? Well, it'd be MC11
Basically, yeah, it would
onwards.
be MC11. Max 2's split is that when the big boom boom with the auditor happened, it was like a big boom boom, like a nuclear explosion that just killed all the characters there, and they just were vaporized and they didn't come back. That's the separation, like that thin line. Or it could have even been as simple as just them dying in the aftermath of that, but yeah, if Ammo never showed up and Hank was still alive, we'd just get MC12. But Maxification's like if the main characters were completely wiped off the scene and Nexus Core could just hop on in and steal off Ammo shit and, well, not Ammo, but HW shit and fulfill the whole hole in the power vacuum. Because Nexus Core is a bunch of assholes.
Ralphaz is wondering what other classic OCs
Oh.
will appear in Max 2. I don't know what defines
We
classic.
got that
in
guy
this
from
case.
Mandatory Madness showing up. We got Magnesia's whole crew. We got fucking Viri's old OC from Parroting Madness 2. We have Seeker showing up. Preacher might show up. Delamorte shows up. A lot of the classics you'd see from like famous collabs and shit. The current OC count's like 60 something that I have. I know there's more than that I have, but I need to update the sprites for. The current collection in total is like 80. But the actual amount of like sprites ready to animate is like around 50 or 60. And there's some older ones I gotta touch up again that I did during the start of the development. Gotta get around to that. Fucking assholes.
Zero Division is asking if any other remnants of the AHW will appear.
Not really. They're long gone. I mean, the only remnants of the HW you're going to be seeing is within Ammo. And there's not going to be like... They're not deploying old agents or anything like that. I doubt there's even any left over. I will have some context to what happened to the AHW in Max 2. But they don't really show up in the flesh, so to speak. They're long gone. I mean, after the Auditor was gone, they basically cut the head off the dragon, then Nexus Core came and just kind of ate into the corpse like ants, taking all the things they wanted.
They just kind of swept all the bugs off.
They swept the bugs
house.
out of the house, and they, you know, Fubbles slapped his big fat ass cheeks into the couch. They took all the HW shit, they, you know, usurped all their bases and research facilities, and just took all their guns, and they took a shortcut to power by just leapfrogging off of all the HW's existing technology and, you know, weapons and vehicles and shit and their research. And that's how that happened. Nexus Core are a bunch of pricks, but what are you expecting? It's madness.
Coworker Gerald is asking if Enlil and N51 were to turn on each other, who do you think would win? My answer to that is, regardless of who wins, it's not going to be a clean one. It's not going to be a
Victory
clean
entirely
victory.
depends on the context of how it goes down. Like, it depends who attacks first and if they're expecting it. I would say if N51 made a massive concerted tactical effort and they went all out, they probably could win if they made it really quick. But speed would have to be at the F's. Like, they would need to strike like a fucking missile and send everything within the matter of like a couple days and just blitzkrieg ammo entirely. And that mean they'd have to know exactly where their bases are, how to counteract their existing units, how to deal with their fucking, you know, bug robots firing quantum laser beams and shit. Because in a prolongated engagement, it would not be good for N51. Because Ammo's whole thing is that they have units that are able to adapt to what they're fighting against. Like in Max 2, you're going to see there's moments where the ammo agents start off like just kind of regular soldiers, but as they begin encountering OCs, they gain new abilities to counter those powers. And that's also the case with their other units. Like they're going to develop new... Like they would develop drones and robots and vehicles and weapons specifically to counteract N51 vehicles and tactics. So if N51 didn't win the conflict immediately, ammo would begin turning the tide and would eventually systematically wipe them out. But N51 victory would be possible if they struck at the heart and the brain and took them out like almost immediately. You can't give ammo any time to develop countermeasures or else you lose, basically. How's that sound, Dark? Is that fair and reasonable?
No.
Oh,
I
you
don't
think it's awful,
is.
actually?
I think ammo's getting big a little too much credit for their sleeping giant mentality.
How could you...
I mean, you said yourself that ammo can't really wage a full-scale war by
against
itself.
Nexus
That's
Core
why
and occupying the tower, but in a conflict with an enemy like N51, I feel like if they sent a couple dozen bug bots after them, that'd be enough trouble as it is. Or even just, like, completely disregarding Abaddon. Just the 3 wise men would be a lot of trouble to deal with, on top of all the bug robots, on top of the fucking insectoid laser cannons and fucking weird other place shit. It'd be really tricky to deal with. It'd be a really dirty conflict for sure.
It already sounds like the makings of
It is a dirty alliance. They don't, like, N51 doesn't trust ammo at all.
Submit or suffer.
Also, I've finished the test.
Holy
now.
shit! You know, Zapchan, you actually animate pretty well when you're drunk.
Thank you. I mean, I feel like it's sort of scuffed in some areas, but I guess I see it more.
I think it's kind of fun. So, you know, this is kind of like how this is kind of how Scorepack fights in Max 2. He has his like wrist tether, fucking grapple shit.
Oh yeah, yeah. Fuse does have that ability, doesn't he? Like you can just shoot it.
I'm gonna have a lot of fun doing Scorepack and Potke's characters because they got fun powers to deal with.
Yeah, I don't remember who suggested the whiplash from Ultra Kill, but thank you. It was a good
Cute
idea.
little animation, isn't it? Kind of adorable, kind of sweet.
How much longer are we gonna?
Probably just 15 more minutes before we wrap it up.
All right, I definitely can't do another then. I was hoping to get.
Well, do one more now and fucking speed run it.
No, I can't.
Animatic speed run.
I would hate myself afterwards.
Well, actually, Synthesis Grid and Roth is hard are all saying you did a good job. They love you, Zapchan. They love you.
Thank you. Wait, is it actually showing on the stream? I just
no. It goes on and off, but people saw it.
Okay, they saw it. All right, I'll be posting an actual MP4 of it to Twitter as well because you know VCams.
Who doesn't love VCams?
Anyways, you can get rid of the Zapchan cam now if you want.
Fine, if that's the way you're gonna be. I hope you're happy.
Frankly, my dick, I don't give a damn.
That's pretty gross, man. Ah, Jesus. Anyway, I saw a question for Dark Signal. Why does N51 hate Nexus Core, Dark Signal?
The reason would be the same in either the MPN canon or the Max 2 canon. Basically, because the Nexus Core had basically perpetuated conflict across Nevada with Phobos' warlording enterprise, with his access to infinite manpower that he could sell to shadowy agencies all across Nevada to throw shit at each other and cause problems. They have become war perpetuators and war profiteers. So, with N51 with N51's other enemies being fueled by this, they have found that this war enterprise, and by extension the Nexus Corps, are the source of the problem. So, dispatching of the Nexus Corps means they cut off the supply lines for all of the other agencies who keep causing problems around Nevada. And by toppling the Nexus Corps, that puts a stop to the escalating
I definitely agree.
conflict.
Also on the stream, I'm just going to show off some like old fun assets and shit that's like going to get updated. Can you believe ammo agents used to look this shitty?
Of course, in Max 2, it's even worse because they're the only ones who they're pretty much the last main bastion of civilization around.
Basically, in Max 2, Nexus City is the last place you can go to live, and everywhere else is just like wastelands and bandit hideouts and caves. They're the last bastion, and they're strong-arming their position and are uncompromising in their vision for what they want in a society. Phobos loves being God Emperor, and if you don't like that, you're branded a traitor or a heretic, and you get scalped in the streets. And then people actually get paid taking turns spitting on your exposed brain pan. So N51's not really a fan of that. And that's why they're very eager to work with ammo and are willing to compromise maybe some of their morals in order to fulfill the greater goal of destroying the Nexus Core. You better run, bitch. But yeah, Dark, there's gonna be some cool stuff. Actually, here's a bunch of old-ass weapons. The revolver, which you made fucking, like, 4 years ago. This is the animated one, where it has, like, little reload animation. It has, like, little teeth that move and shit. I think I made a newer version of this with brand new shading in one of my scenes, but I didn't put it back here yet. These are, like, different versions of different animations, I think. Or, like, different sizes while I was, like, testing shit out. I think one of these has the spin animation, but I don't remember which one. There's a bunch of old shit from Paradig 2 in here, like first generation Maxification 2 guns. Like this is my original graviton beam emitter, and then we got the new one I made for ammo right on top of it. I think the new one's a little bit better. This also has the firing animation, it goes pew pew. It's fun. Whole bundle of fun. Got some OC guns over here. I think I was going to give Coda the Torkev pistol, because I like how that came out a lot. What do you think, Dark? Does it look nice? This is the gun that goes pew-pew. Fires bullets.
Yes, it does that a lot.
Little bullets. Also got this Luger. I think I animated it? Yeah, I did. But I gotta have the bolt move a little bit more. I was going to give it a wood grip like the other ones. This might not be the most updated version of the fog, because I thought I had one where it did have the wood texture. I got a bunch of shit where I was experimenting with ammo guns and energy shields and concept art and shit. Guns. This is me just trying to do like a welded portion. I think I remember someone asking me how to do a part of a gun looks like it was welded together. I just did this as an example. And I'm actually working on a new N51 gun down here. Darkson probably has mixed thoughts on it, as he always will be. Take a look, Dark. Here's your terror. The hell do you mean you can't see? It's right on the stream.
Oh, that one?
Don't worry, I'm gonna add a stock. But I was trying to go for like an A12, and then it turned into whatever the fuck this is.
Yeah, whatever the fuck this is a good answer.
I was trying to do that kind of like angled foregrip you see on AR-15s. Originally, it was supposed to be like a semi-auto shotgun, which I think it still works pretty well for, given how wide the barrel is. But I was torn between that and it being like a heavy machine gun. What do you think, Dark Signal?
Frankly, this profile looks more like a SMG
Really?
rather than a shotgun.
How chunky the barrel is, that's pretty impressive.
Probably.
Well, damn. Hi, Zap. Zapchon's back. Zapchon's back.
That's right. It's me.
All right. We're going to wrap up the stream now because we've been streaming for like 16 hours. But it was a fun return to form. I'm glad we got the people here. Glad we got through so many questions. Got to show off some cool stuff. I'm still working on the movie. Even with me being shipped off to Ukraine, again, later this year, I'll still be working on this. I can't guarantee a regular schedule for the streams because my real life schedule is still ridiculously chaotic and busy. And I'm squeezing in this live stream on a weekend where I have like 5 other really important things to do. But I want to do this for you guys because I've been gone for a while and I know people like the streams and the chickens and all that. So I want to put this together for you because you've also been very patient while I've been gone. And thank you very much to everyone who's swung by and is still waiting for this fucking movie. I guarantee you, it will be the best Madness movie ever made, and no one else in the entire community can ever do a better job.
One last question about that. Is Max 2 going to be premiered or just uploaded suddenly like Parody 2 was?
I might do a premiere if there's a lot of people who want to do like a big event like that. Thing is, I don't know, because I've been on other premieres where the video quality is like really dog shit, and I'd be worried.
That's
about
rare.
me doing this, like me releasing the movie, and a lot of people's first impressions being through like this blurry, like fucking 240.
I know
You
why
know
that
why?
happens, I think. Yeah, like you know when you upload the
Yeah.
video and it's processing, it's like you can premiere it before it's done processing.
So I have
that's
to
what happens
upload
then.
it and then do like a premiere that's done like centuries later. Okay, because
Yes.
a sheer amount of detail, especially when I'm putting in the cinematic scenes that Dark's been seeing, I would not want any of that to be like washed out with Vaseline, given how much time has gone into. I mean, the amount of time putting into fucking shading this gun that's on screen for like 3 seconds has already been ridiculous.
I mean, I think you owe it to yourself to do a premiere though. And
As
get
long
everyone's live reaction
as
to it.
the quality of the video is not compromised, I will most likely do a premiere. Otherwise, I'll probably just do a scheduled upload.
I think it'd be fine, just like as long as you give it a lot of prep
time. So, one last statement in regards to where the movie is. Commercial sector is about halfway done because the intro ended up becoming this massive set piece in and of itself, and then we got these scenes in the tunnels where there's like a lot of fucking cutscenes and shit. I'll say half of commercial sector is currently done. And after commercial sector is the throne, which is where we get to fight Phobos and see a bunch of crazy shit. And after the throne is the finale with Abaddon and all the other OCs and the crazy other place shit going on. So we're in the last third. It's just gonna take me a little bit to to get that done. The amount of OCs showing up in commercial sector, I'm still trying to figure out some of the choreography for that, especially with some of the more exotic character powers. But it's fun. It's fun to do, and I look forward to showing off more. Thank you for everyone who showed up for the stream. Thank you, Dark Signal, for swinging by on short notice.
Okay, bye.
Damn you, Dark Signal, damn you! And for everyone else, I wish you a good day, good night, and wherever you are, just have a pleasant time.
Yeah, and Zapshon's been here too.
Go to hell,
Thank you,
Zap, I hate
Zapshon,
you.
Thank you.
In fact, I hate you so much, I'll beat you.
You do that already.
Got me there. Alright, I'll see you guys. Have a good night. Bye-bye.